Hello. On today's show, I'm going to talk about the new Penguin show on Max. Mike is the only one that's prepared for a special season 4 finale preview. And Pat says, if you're a fan of physical media, steal your wallets. Welcome to your favorite live streaming geek culture podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. I'm your 4th or 5th favorite podcasting host, Kevin, and we've got all the regulars here today, minus one. You want to say hello, Mike?
Hello.
Hello, and of course, Patrick is with us.
I am with you. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, I froze there when it started. What was everything running? I was just sitting there frozen on your all screen. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was checking Instagram, sorting that thing out, and then nothing was happening. So I looked up and you're.
Well, I was just hoping you couldn't hear me though, because I was letting out some expletives, but
those came through.
Oh, they did. Dag it. All right. Hello. So today is with no, bells and whistles at all, really, except for Mike's preview, I guess. Our season 4 finale. I feel like it's been an adjustment period to go this every other week thing. And now we're going to go an extra week before we even start season 5, because we're all headed to the Xcellar group get together up north in 2 weeks. And we're not doing a show during the get together this time. So the next show won't be until the 26th, I believe. So, we do have something cool, though, we didn't talk about in the pregame that everybody can get their fix of us, because people need that, Pat, right?
I do.
We can get that fix in Cover Combat 10, which officially starts this coming Monday.
2 days.
2 days, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm just going to throw this out there for the first time. I'm probably going to do it a couple times during today's show. We're giving away prizes that you can see now on Facebook, Instagram, even X for Cover Combat 10. And all you have to do is claim the book you think is going to win Cover Combat 10, share the post, and tag somebody else that you think you'd want to have with you to help you push your selection through to the end to be the big prize winner. I got all that right, Mike?
I think you have to like the post and not share. I think you had to tag, like.
Oh, tag, like, comment. Okay, cool. I knew I'd screw that up probably. Okay.
That's
so
right.
yeah,
Share
follow the instructions, huh?
Share anyway. Do what you can.
Yeah, share it anyway. But all the instructions are on the Facebook post. That's the only place you can do all that, though, right, Mike?
Yes.
I've shared Cover Combat 10's prizes and a little explanation on other social media, but Facebook is the one you have to go to actually claim the book, because we can only have that in one place, because it's first come, first serve deal. because there's 64 books. And obviously each one can only be selected once. And if we get some kind of craziness with multiple people thinking a particular book could possibly win, we need to know who selected it first. So it can only be claimed on that Facebook post. And the prizes are pretty cool. What did you think of our prizes, Pat? Pretty cool,
Hey,
right?
I want to win them all.
Yeah. So it's Iron Fist 15, which, you know, I actually thought that was the second appearance of Sabretooth, but it's not, Mike. It's not.
I think that book is somewhere in Xcellar, but 15 that you have there, not it. But the X-Men are in it, so that's what's so awesome about that one.
Yeah, it is a key issue though too. It is a first appearance of someone. Pat, do you know who appears first ever anywhere in Iron Fist 15?
No, I don't. Off the top of my head, I do not.
I don't either.
The Bushmaster.
Oh yes, the Bushmaster.
Really?
Yeah. So we got a classic book that you can grab. We also have a new cool book, Photon #1, signed by Brian Stelfreeze, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then a really cool Batman action figure by McFarlane Toys, which that's one of my favorite one of all the millions of Batman that you can get through McFarlane Toys. And then, of course, if you're not into any of those things, you know, you can get a gift card for some streaming and movie ownage. So a little bit of something for everyone to choose from. So get over to that Facebook post. The deadline for selecting who you think will win Cover Combat 10 is going to be October 14th. Before 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's when we will reveal the winners of round 1A. So you have to select before that show starts. That's your deadline. So don't take your time because all the best ones are obviously going to get selected first. Hey, Mike, you know how many have been claimed already? You got a running total on that?
I do upstairs in my folder.
Okay, speculate right now then.
I would say 10. I would say 10.
So now. 10 of them have been claimed? Okay. So
and I'm going to wait until just before we start our show to claim mine because, you know, I want to give everybody else a chance to claim before I claim one.
Well, you can't claim.
Huh? We can't?
You can't claim. No.
I'm going to claim.
We talked about that. I was thinking what might be fun is that we can still obviously predict who we think will eventually win it, you know.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to predict. I'm going to claim and predict.
Okay.
Basically,
yeah, everyone
it's just bragging. Our prize is bragging rights.
Yeah, exactly. Which, that's so I haven't decided either because, man, it is 64 great covers, and you can see all 64 covers right now on that Facebook post, and it is a batch of amazing books that I feel like more than any other Cover Combat ever, this is going to be a tough one week in, week out to make our selections. So get over there and do that. Pat, not you. I said you can't claim. What are you doing?
I'm going to look now.
All right, cool. Let's get into this then. So, like I said, Mike, you're the only one prepared for preview, unless you know what Pat will do sometimes while I'm all long-windedly talking. He'll be like working things out while I'm talking. He'll probably do it while you're talking. He's gonna be like, you know what? I've got 10 real quick.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a nod in Pat's favor that he can work really fast on pulling information, or light on you that you just talk a lot.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. All right, let's get into it.
There's a key, you know, we all listen to talk radio and stuff like that. You can't have that dead air, and you're great at making sure there's no dead air. That's important.
That's exactly what happens. Exactly. All right.
right.
All right.
I may have over prepared because I've got my list and then I've got all that.
Hey, well, as long as there's not more than 30, you're good. Because, if you make up
Yeah.
for me and Pat's
Yeah,
minus 10, you're all good.
that's
All right,
true.
what you got?
All right, this one, there's two on here that I'm so excited about, and this is one of them. This is called Dust to Dust. It's from Image Comics. It's an 8-issue series, comes out Christmas Day. Is Christmas Day Wednesday? Christmas is on a Wednesday. I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess you're going to have to get it the 26th because I don't know, too many stores will be open Christmas Day.
I sure hope not. Those poor guys and girls.
Yeah. So this is written by J.G. Jones, and it's also hand painted. So this is an entirely painted book, which I'm excited about that.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah. So in the darkest days of the Great Depression, death stalks the Dust Bowl as towering dust storms blast the parched Oklahoma panhandle. Farmers try to flee the failing town of New Hope, but no one gets far. Battling his own demons, Sheriff Meadows teams up with Sarah, a traveling photojournalist, in a desperate fight to stop a serial killer on the loose. So a serial killer during the Great Depression in the Dust Bowl, Oklahoma. Man, that sounds exciting.
That is so awesome.
Yep. So that's the A cover. And then we've also got the Duncan Forgredo. Sorry, Duncan. The 1 in 10, which, man, that looks fantastic too. I really like that.
Yeah.
And Olivier Coipel, I love his artwork. The 1 in 20 right there. Then I didn't mean to get off that so quickly. And this is just an example of interior work. So I think this one's going to be great. I'm really excited for this one.
Man, I could totally see that serial killer becoming a new big screen star. That totally looks like your atypical, serial killer stalker in, some kind of horror flick.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like he's got some World War II or World War I era gas mask on there for dust. Man, it's creepy.
Yeah, he looks crazy. Oh, that'd be such a great Halloween costume too. That's oh man, that'd be cool. You should hook that one up, Mike.
Yeah, next year.
Okay.
I don't have time this year. All right. And as we've seen, we've got the final issue of one of my favorite books right now, Grummets. This is wrapping everything up. It's a first kiss, leaving friends behind, changing schools mid-year, and facing your biggest fears in public. Rites of passage into the unknown for every kid trying to navigate the stormy seas of adolescence. This has been such a great series. This is just one that I recommend everybody pick up. Go back, get the trade whenever it comes out. I'm going to get the trade because I'm probably going to read it all over again, and hoping there's some really awesome, pencils and just early, different artwork in there.
Have you been given this a must? Remind us. Have you been given Grommets a must-have or get it in the reviews? Must-haves. Yeah,
I think must-haves. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems awesome. I definitely want to check it out.
And then, so then here's the Brett Parsons 1 in 10 and the James Callahan 1 in 20.
Did you say this interests you, Pat? The Grommets? Are you digging this?
Mike's glowing reviews has probably pushed me to probably pick up the trade. I was initially sort of interested. The artwork looks great. I like Rick Remender. It was just the skate culture thing. Left me kind of cold. I had no interest in that, but Mike's reviews have kind of pushed me to probably pick up the trade, like I said.
Yeah, me too. He's selling it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think the skate culture kind of takes a back seat to everything because, it's these guys were skaters whenever they were kids, so they're kind of writing about what it was like for them growing up. But the common part of it is we were all teenagers at one point,
Yeah.
So and that's the greatest part to it.
In the 80s, to be more specific, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry about that. You know what's funny is I was having trouble remembering the two main characters' names, and it wasn't until I think I was working on this that they're Rick and Brian.
Yeah.
Those are the two main characters' names. Look at the writers, Rick and Brian. Like, are you serious?
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they had to have done that on purpose, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah. Mhm.
Next up, this thing is crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna get this one, but I have to try to check it out. We have Florida Man versus Hogzilla.
What?
I know. Sorry about that.
Hogzilla, huh? Assuming
Yeah.
this is going to
Ever
be
heard
a
of
big.
Hogzilla? Hogzilla is a real Hogzilla was a real creature. It's a huge wild pig.
Really? I never heard of
Yeah,
it. Have you heard of it, Pat?
No.
Yeah, look it up. As far as I know, it was real.
Okay.
So this is written by Mike Barron. He returns to the Sunshine State for for a really funny, heartfelt tale of the quintessential Florida man embarking on a quest to take down the legendary wild pig Hogzilla. So that A cover is kind of boring. I mean, that would never really cause me to pick the book up from the shelf. You'd have to go down to the awesome variants.
Nice
From Memory
vacation.
Road.
Nice.
So it's
Yeah.
vacation, and then it's got the -1 variant. Instead of Godzilla, it's Hogzilla -1.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So I think those are really great covers. So this is one I'm probably not going to pick up myself, but it just seemed interesting enough that I wanted to highlight it.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Next up, I think this one Patrick would find interesting because of the creators. So we've got Dr. Worthless, a man who studied murder, and this is, Harold Schechler, Mr. Huffar, and Eric Powell doing the artwork. The same guys that brought us the what was the title of that book? Did you hear what Eddie Gein done about it? Remember Ed Gein? So I know a lot of comic book fans are familiar with who Wortham was. And this is an examination of one of the most polarizing figures in pop culture, Dr. Frederick Wortham, reviled by comic book fans as a witch-hunting zealot who stirred up a panic among the parents of America for his own self-promoting purposes. He was also a renowned psychiatrist. This goes back to the 50s when he testified in front of Congress and all that. And here, this is a picture of some congressmen with all the, some of the comics that they were trying to highlight. It's the horror stuff. That's where we get the pre-code horror, because this kind of stemmed everybody to the comic books to self censor.
Yeah.
That's Wortham's book there, Seduction of the Innocent, that I have not read. Sometimes I think maybe I should, just for historical purposes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
maybe.
What's that?
Did you read Seduction of the Innocent?
No.
I think Johnny might have. Johnny knows quite a bit about this.
Yeah, he's the one that brought it. I hadn't even heard about it until he mentioned it on one of our shows or something a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe I'll just read the this book here, Dr. Worthless, instead.
Right.
All right, next up, and I've been highlighting this title, Tales of the Bizarre. This is number 10. It's an anthology series with the best and strangest sci-fi horror tales. This one comes out December 11th. And this one actually introduces a superhero right there, Oracle. which is kind of neat. It's a sci-fi book, but they're putting a superhero in there, and I think she controls water, like that.
Is she in a wheelchair in her alter ego?
Sure hope not.
Okay.
But it's the Zap covers that have been getting the attention here in these Tales of the Bizarre. It's what got me into picking them up, and so 7 and 8 are going pretty. They're getting up there in price, which surprised me. But
yeah,
yeah. So I'm just going to continue with these Tales of the Bizarre because I really like the covers. For the very least, I'm going to get them for the covers, and then I'll read the stories, and hopefully, I'll enjoy the stories too.
Nice.
All right. Next up, this is from Distillery, who I like their stuff, but I don't like the price. Hold on now. There it is. Okay, here we have Through the Boughs, a Yuletide offering. So, it's that time of year we're starting to get some of the Christmas books. This is a 64-page one-shot. Comes out December 11th. Venture deep through the endless strips of snow, through evergreen tree lines, tinkling with hoarfrost and rime, then venture many miles more. I mean, this is a Christmas story.
Why does that say February 11th, 2025?
Oh, you know what? Maybe it is February 11th. And I wrote the wrong down. I don't know. Maybe look at me. I wrote down December here, but it might be February 11th, and I messed up here. Yeah, I think no, I might be wrong. Just don't pay me any mind.
I was just thinking that would be a long freaking early solicitation. Yeah.
Yeah, and they miss the prime time. Here's the
right, the Christmas window. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Pat can look that up. Looks like he's looking it up. But anyway, here's the B cover, which is pretty nice. Natalie Andrewson.
Yeah, I like the A cover. Is that a wraparound? These are both of them are wraparounds, right?
Yeah. Distillery always does wraparound covers, and these are all oversized, magazine size, and usually $8.99. This is $9.99.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually.
Yep.
Have you seen the new Magic the Gathering? Is this just made me think about this with the animals and a couple of these being animals. Did you see Magic the Gathering's animals, the burrows?
No.
Oh man, you gotta check out the newest. I don't even know if it's the newest. They pump them out so fast, but it's a really cool theme, an animal theme where all the characters are animals.
Huh. I always like looking at the new Magic stuff, even if I'm not buying it.
Right.
All right. Next up, this is this one I'm really excited to pick up.
December 11th.
December 11th. There we go. All right. Thanks, Pat.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Makes sense too.
Yeah.
All right. Really excited for this one. It's called Long Cold Winter. And this is from Mad Cave Studios. Comes out December 4th. This is right up your alley here, Kevin. In the not too distant future, it's a nice sci-fi book.
Yeah.
The air on Earth has become unbreathable. However, a multinational company called Air Company has constructed generators to provide oxygen for those who can afford it. Isn't that what's that Dr. Seuss? The Lorax. Remember?
Yeah.
Danny DeVito voicing it. I think that's what it was. They bottled air or something, but
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's the A cover there. Mark Aspinall on the B cover. This one I'm going to pick up. I can't remember if this is a miniseries or not. Probably is. But
that What's the publisher on that? Oh, Mad Cave. Okay.
Mad Cave. Yeah. Yeah, and I like to try to support Mad Cave.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I think the quality of their paper and everything. They've got the heavy stock covers and definitely worth checking out. All right, so that's one that I've added to my pull list as well, and I've added this next one on my pull list because I like what Oni Press is doing with these old EC titles. Shiver Suspense Stories. This is a 56-page one-shot. So just in time for Christmas, Oni Press and EC Comics are proud to present Shiver Suspense Stories, the first in an all-new series of extra-size EC specials, colliding with tales of horror, science fiction, and suspense. This one, I actually censored those two things out because they're a little uncomfortable.
Oh, that's yours. Okay, gotcha. I was gonna say.
Yeah, I put those on there because they're just not family friendly.
Gotcha.
So Derek Robertson on the A cover. We've got Adam Hughes doing a B cover, which is really great. It's a great looking cover. So if you want to go check it out on your own, but then
Well, can you tell us if what you've blotted out there are they?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
was
what's in the
Still
box?
violence or an adult picture, essentially?
Violence.
Violence.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's violence. I mean,
Could have gone either way with Adam Hughes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm getting some Seven. I'm getting some Seven vibes from that Robertson cover.
Yeah, the A cover is definitely what's in the box. And the other one is just
even the dog is shocked. Did you notice that?
Yeah. That bottom right corner, yeah. That's a great cover.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other one, there are two ways to look at it. Santa Claus comes down your chimney and brings you gifts, or Santa Claus is breaking and entering.
Right. What's the name of that movie? Man, yeah, they've done that a couple times actually. Yeah.
We've got
Santa
a sketch cover.
Sorry,
What's that?
Go ahead. I was just gonna say it's Santa themed serial killers.
Yeah. Then the Jay Stevens 1 in 10. He's been doing the 1 in 10 covers for all of these new Oni Press EC books, which man, they're great.
That kid's gonna ruin Christmas. Sorry.
Yeah, he sure is. He's gonna ruin Santa's day.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I really like the Jay Stevens 1 in 10 variants. They've been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost done here. Almost done. This is kind of cool. This is the Forever Maps from Scout. Now, this is the Scout Legacy reprint. And I never paid attention to these before. But basically the story, the premise of this story is in 1794, a young man named John is given a map. Curious, he follows it, and when he arrives at the end, he finds a similar map. This leads to another, and then another, and on and on. Determined to find something, anything, he continues to follow these strange maps all over the country. Decades later, he learns that as long as he follows them, he doesn't seem to get older. It's not until nearly a century later that he realizes when he stops, time begins to catch up with him. That's pretty crazy. So I really like that idea. Now, what Scout had done is they had this thing called a nonstop imprint where they release a world premiere issue, which is the #1 issue, followed by the entire story a few months later in one volume. So, that's what happened here. Whoops, took it down. So issue #1 came out in September 2019. And then in February of 2020, the trade paperback came out. So you kind of get this tease of, probably 30 pages, and then you get the rest of the story a couple months later in the trade paperback form. So
interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how well that, because basically you bought that issue #1 and then you paid trade paperback prices for that same thing.
Right.
You're kind of paying double for a portion of the story. So I don't know, but this story sounds pretty cool, and they're reprinting that #1. I don't know if they're going to reprint the trade paperback, but it should be readily available. All right.
Okay.
So so the last for the stories, another Christmas themed here. So we've got the Marvel Holiday Tales to Astonish. These are the holiday specials they have. I don't know if I wrote down how many pages these are. 80
Batman
pages.
smell.
Yeah. So first you're invited to the Fantastic Four's holiday party, but who are the uninvited guests? Then in a tale of Hanukkah's past, can Kitty Pryde scramble to save the day while struggling to shop for gifts for her merry X-Men and ring in the new year with Peter Parker and Miles Morales, as only Spider-Man can. That's the Marvel one. Then DC, yeah, what Kevin said there, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. So there's 6 tales in here. So we've got a Dr. Midnight silent tale, so that should be interesting. And then also a Dead Man story written by Marv Wolfman. So out of these 2, that's probably the one that I would want to pick up for that Dr. Midnight and the Marv Wolfman story. Because they're both probably, I think they're both $10. That's a lot of money for 2 books. So
yeah. Hey, do either one of you know who's accredited with the Jingle Bells Batman song? Who came up with that? Was it you two? No. Frank Sinatra? No. Who was that? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
It's a good question, right? It's a good trivia question, right? What were we going to say, Pat? What were we going to say, Pat?
I don't know. What was I going to say?
I thought I
interrupted you. Sorry.
That's a great question.
Huh. Look it up, hey, in case you didn't know. That would be good info.
Well, yeah. Pat's looking up right now because I can't wait for me to look it up. Wow, he does that. These are 2 for the cover. Might be great stories as well. We've got What If Galactus Transformed Incredible Hulk, a Stephen Platt cover. I like Stephen Platt a lot. Unfortunately, I stopped buying books just for the cover, but that doesn't mean you have to. You can pick that one up. And also Skylar Partridge doing Batgirl #2. And I break my own rules all the time. If this was an open order cover, I would buy it. But it's a 1 in 25.
Right. That is awesome.
I love that cover. 1 in 25. It's probably going to start at 25. And if people love it as much as I do, and it seems like you do, that'll easily be a $45, $50 grab.
Grab it for an investment, if nothing else. Not that we recommend investing in comics, though.
Yeah, it's so volatile, It's
exactly.
I'm having, since I've stopped buying books for covers and speculating on stuff, I'm having so much more fun mainly because I'm not as broke as I was before. But
and you don't have the angst of seeing a book that you spec'd on dive,
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So that's it. That's the preview.
But you also lose the excitement of it rising, right? Sorry.
Yeah, but sometimes I get lucky, like those Tales of the Bazaar.
Yeah,
I bought them because I like the cover, but I also like that kind of storytelling. I like anthologies, and I definitely intended on reading it, which I did read. #7, and those things are going crazy. I think mainly for the covers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think you've been highlighting those in the group. We need to share those to the main page.
Yeah, that's true. Because they're starting to hit that #8 is people are already asking for $250 for it. That's the new asking price. There are sold prices at $199. And then #7, the one I highlighted, there's a sold price for $149. And I think that's the new asking price that I've seen on there. There might be one for $100. So yeah, it's just crazy. People can ask what they want, but these are actually sold prices. I don't know. Maybe it's somebody.
Did you review one of those?
I did. Yeah, #7.
Okay.
Yep. And I highlighted the other ones too in previews.
Is it good inside? Is the story good? What'd you give it? I can't remember.
I kind of dogged the inside. I mean, they were good. You kind of can see the twist ending as you read them. They're kind of middle of the road stories. The artwork was probably okay, but I was comparing it to the covers, which I actually love the covers. So the artwork served the stories okay.
Okay.
It's just kind of standard indie artwork.
Got it.
So that's it. Go get all those books. Go get them all.
All right, man.
But definitely tune in and after they come out, because I'm definitely going to review Dust to Dust and Long Cold Winter. Those are my two favorite ones I'm looking forward to.
Man, that was great. You do
Thanks.
such a good job, Mike. Sorry, I let you down personally. I do it far too often. Pat rarely lets anyone down. But you know, we'll get on the previews train to be perfect in season 5.
Okay, that's all good.
So. All right, cool. Man, I've got a really cool coincidence to share with y'all. You're gonna love this, Mike.
Good.
Mike especially. Pat, I think you'll love it too, but Mike especially. So, all right.
Yep.
All right. It's been a little bit of a slow 2 weeks for me, viewing wise. Let me just state that I got plenty of viewing in. But Mike, you and my boys got me back in the NFL. So a lot of that has been football viewing, which has not been my standard for a few years, but I'm getting back to it. And, me and my wife were mentioning to each other, even if you aren't paying a whole lot of time to the game, just having the game on while you're doing other stuff, background, noise is it just feels right especially for the fall. Right, Mike?
It actually, absolutely, yeah.
And then I've actually been on. I'm re-binging an old show, which is a great but controversial due to the finale. Sci-fi show. I think we watched it originally together, Mike, if I'm not mistaken. Do you guys have any guess what I've been binging based on what I just said? 90s sci-fi. What?
I have a guess.
Okay.
Firefly?
No,
that was 2000s.
I can get that done in a day. That's only 8 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. But it's kind of controversial, Way.
Well, Well, it was controversial because it ended prematurely, and then they put out a movie to wrap it up. But this one, it's kind of Game of Thronesy in the way that everybody's like, "Oh man, that was such a great show," but then the final couple episodes just crapped all over it and ruined it. And I don't subscribe to that with the show. Pat, you got a real quick guess?
I mean, what everybody always complains about the ending of Lost, but that was 2000s, I guess.
Boom! Oh, that was the 2000. I thought that was the 90s.
Nah.
Oh, I thought it started in the 90s.
No, 20 years ago. I just saw a thing. Someone said Lost started 20 years ago.
Isn't 20 years ago the 90s?
No, that's 25 years ago. Is the 90s. Don't even. That's. Come on, I'm getting depressed.
Have you?
I still remember Elliot in the morning talking about Lost. That's back when I was listening to radio all the time, and I listened to Elliot talk about Lost. Jeez.
Well, well, that's what it is. So I said the wrong decade, but that's what it is. I am revisiting Lost, and man, it's still good. And when you haven't watched the show for 20 years, you forget everything. Man, it's just as suspenseful. I'm like still on the edge of my seat. Someone just died. I totally forgot they died. And especially how this character died. I was like, man, this show's great. I told Ayla she needs to watch it because I really think she'd enjoy it too. But man, it's so good.
Well, silver lining of getting old. Shows from 20 years ago are new again.
Right. And the finale, like I said, I think that's a tough one to wrap up, so I don't beat it up because of the finale. It was fine. I mean, it wasn't maybe as spectacular as I'd hoped, but it was fine. It's kind of the same way I feel about Game of Thrones. I mean, it's when you've got something so classically epic in the works, wrapping it up is a tough road to hoe,
I have something that it probably won't surprise you guys.
Okay.
I've never seen the final episode of Lost.
Oh my gosh.
I watched everything. At the time, when it finally ended, Emily and I were living in a mountain house, and I worked late on Thursdays. I think it was on a Thursday nights. I worked late, and she couldn't wait for me. She's like, "It's the last. I gotta watch it. I'll watch it again with you." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead, watch it." So she watched it, and guess what? Never got around. I never got around to watching it. So,
that's crazy, Pat.
well,
where are you on Lost?
I'm not as lost as Mike. I think I remember him talking about this before, unless there's another finale he didn't partake in. But
yeah, I think I remember that now too. But did you saw the whole season or all the whole series and the finale, Pat? You saw?
Yes, including the finale. I saw all of it. Yeah,
and that's what put J.J. Abrams on the map, right?
did Alias.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Of course, Alias.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, enough of that's been taking. So it's been NFL and Lost for a majority of my viewing pleasures over the last 3 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I did fit in some movies and even a new show. We're going to start with Hold Your Breath, which is on Hulu. Karen didn't have to remind me. This is starring Sarah Paulson. She's very familiar to me. I'm not sure exactly what I know her from, because even when I look at her credits, I'm like, I don't remember that. But anyway, she's the star of this show, and this is written by and directed by Carrie Krause from Westworld. On HBO Max. I don't know what either one of you have been watching that or not, but that's pretty good too. That's based on the old Westworld movie. But anyway, Hold Your Breath. Here you go, Mike. This movie is about a serial killer during the Great Depression in the Oklahoma Panhandle. I swear to God.
No, you're making that up.
I am not making it up.
That's right. I'm gonna go watch this right now.
Okay. Well, okay.
Let me throw this out real quick. I thought this, it was like that Bird Box where you can't see, and then what's the one you just did where you can't make noise, and now this one you can't breathe. It's like they're taking away all of our senses. You can't do one of your senses,
right?
But really.
So I did exaggerate just a little bit for the excitement. There's no serial. Well, I'm not even going to say there's no serial killer. I'm just going to say there's a slight exaggeration with me saying there's a serial killer. Watch the show to figure that one out, okay? But I don't want to give that away because that'd be kind of a big spoiler to this show. But anyway, it does. Yes, it's totally during the Great Depression in the Oklahoma Panhandle, and this is a suspense thriller, kind of dipping its toes in horror. I figured this one was a good one. When I saw the trailer for it, I was like, you know what? It's October. Halloween's here. Let's get some new scary movies in. And this fits the bill for that. I don't exactly know if I'd call this a horror. Like I said, it's more suspense thriller. But it's definitely got some jump scare moments and some creepy moments. And I didn't even know anything about this until I saw the trailer. But it is really well done. It slightly drags a little bit, but I think that might be intentional for the sake of building up the suspense. And basically the whole hold your breath thing is in the Oklahoma Panhandle, it's really dry, so dust is everywhere. Sandstorms, that kind of thing. So you can kind of put that together. You kind of have to be holding your breath and covering your mouth and all that stuff because you're going to be inhaling sand for 75% of whatever you get. So anyway.
Or you can just wear a World War I gas mask.
Yeah, right. Well, there is a funny moment. The mother in this basically follows a mother and her two daughters. There's other characters, but the main players are a mother and two daughters. And there's a moment where she's telling one of her daughters to go put her mask on, because the sand is kicking up, and then for her to come outside. And it looks like a Dixie cup. Obviously this is during the Great Depression. It looks like a Dixie cup on her face. It's kind of funny. Me and Jesse watching that and being like, geez, we've come a long way with face masks, but there's no World War II gas masks in this anyway. So, but anyway, I like this for the most part. This kind of movie isn't really obviously isn't my biggest, if you know anything about me, my biggest thing to dive into. But I didn't feel like it was a complete waste. So I'm gonna give this like 7 smiley faces. Maybe 6.5, somewhere swimming around there. It's definitely something that I would say is good to check out for the Halloween season. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Amityville horror vibes too, just to put that in there too. This kind of gives you Amityville horror vibes too. So without
would this be
letting
good for like a young teenager to watch as well?
Oh yeah. I think it's fine for that. Yeah, there's nothing really, really horrific in it. I'm not sure what the rating of this is actually. It might be mature just because it is kind of a, the plot and the theme, so.
Yeah. Looks like it's R. So probably themes. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. Hold your breath. Hulu, check it out. Then Amazon Prime wouldn't leave me alone with this trailer. Amazon Prime's been trying to sell this to me for, I feel like 2 years. No, I'm just kidding. It's however long it's been streaming. Every time I turn on my TV, I feel like it's trying to get me to watch The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Like I already said, this is on Amazon Prime. And if you don't know, this is based on the old, what's his name, Pat? Lee Majors, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The old Lee Majors. Is that in the 80s or was that the 70s? My decades are off. It was the 80s, right?
I'd say so.
Yeah. But the old TV show following a stuntman, and watching this and that being so long ago, and whenever I did watch that, I'm not sure how regular I watched it. So I definitely have memories of watching The Fall Guy. But was he like a private detective part-time and then a stunt man full-time or something like that? What got him into his adventures? Do you remember, Mike?
I watched it every week and I don't remember.
Do you remember, Pat?
I never watched it.
Oh man, it was so good. That's the other thing too. I loved it, but I can't believe I can't remember what exactly got him into the adventures.
Right.
Is that you seem like you think that's a fair assumption, Mike? That was he like a private detective, you think? And that's what he did kind of when he wasn't shooting movies, essentially?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I just don't even I
Seems
haven't
like
even
it
thought
would make
about
sense.
it. The only thing I cared about was watching that GMC truck jump.
Right, exactly.
What about Heather Thomas?
Oh yeah, Heather Thomas was in it. Yep.
Yeah,
He was
the
a
white
bounty
sister.
hunter. He was a stunt man, but he was moonlighting as a bounty hunter. It says.
Okay, gotcha.
There you
Okay,
go. Yep.
that checks out. Okay.
Yep.
So this doesn't do any of that. The only similarity this has in it is that he's a stuntman. Okay. Ryan Gosling is a stuntman, and Emily Blunt and him are in a relationship. Then actually, too, I don't know. Do you know where the title "The Fall Guy" comes from, Mike? Why did they call him the Fall Guy? Just because he's a stuntman and he falls for a living?
That's what I always assumed, and this
That's what
poster
I
kind
assumed too.
reaffirms that, doesn't it?
Well, actually, it's totally different for this. Well, I shouldn't say it's totally different for this movie, but basically what happens is you kind of, the first 10, 15 minutes of this movie is like a while ago, and Ryan Gosling has a major accident to where he breaks his back, so he has to stop being a stuntman. And everyone refers to him, oh, you're the Fall Guy, because he had a bad fall and it broke his back. And that's why he basically got out of movies. But then Emily Blunt, when the two of them are dating, they're both kind of, background people. But then later, Emily Blunt becomes a director of a movie, and she basically wants to get Ryan Gosling out of retirement. He's like parking cars. He's like making no money. He's like not doing anything. He's been out of stunt manning for 5 years, I think. So we kind of fast forward 5 years later. She's a director. She asks for him in particular. She's like, he's the only one that can do what I want him to do. So that brings him back into this movie that she's making. And then basically there is a murder. There's a murder. And actually there's someone missing. Let me actually say that. Maybe I gave it away. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? There may be a murder. There may not be a murder. But someone goes missing. So then someone else asked Ryan, hey, you need to find this person because Emily Blunt, the character Emily Blunt plays, needs this guy. So you need to go find him. And then that starts the ball rolling on a pretty crazy ride. I will say the first half of this, if I feel, how I pretty much stick with whatever I'm watching, regardless of whether it sucks or not. Especially at home, I think I've walked out of a theater one time in my life, but especially at home, if I start watching something, it's getting watched, regardless of how much it sucks. The first half of this was a struggle to me to get to the second half. But then around the second halfway point and beyond, it picks up, and I started enjoying it a lot more. So I think overall, I give this like 5 smiley faces. But the first half, I'd give like 3 smiley faces. And the second half, I'd give 7 smiley faces. That's why I'm kind of just going with 5. That sound good?
All right. Yeah, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Number 1, was the guy missing because he was murdered? All right, save the spoiler. Number 2, is there a cool truck?
So yes, so without spoiling anything, no, he's not missing because he's murdered. No. Okay. And yes, there is a cool truck, but caveat with that is it's very brief, just to tickle our nostalgia bone, And guess what else happens in here that tickles our nostalgia bone?
Is there a guest appearance from somebody from the original show?
Exactly.
Is Lee Majors still alive?
Lee Majors, yeah.
He's still alive? Okay. I wasn't sure. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in this. Briefly, but he's in it. Yeah.
It's so when you look back on some of these 80s shows, the vehicles were as much a character as the lead actors. You've got A-Team, Knight Rider, the Fall Guy, the Dukes of Hazzard. So for them to not put the truck in there all the time, I'm out. Sorry.
You know what else seems to be missing from back in the 80s kind of shows and stuff too? Memorable, iconic theme songs. Right, Pat?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you never watched the show. I was
Sometimes
gonna
shows don't even. Yeah, I
What?
know the theme of this song. There's certain things you just know. I know the theme song of this, to the original Fall
Yeah,
Guy.
I
But that's
might
sort of the
fall
thing.
from a tall building. I might crash a brand new car. You remember that, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah. What were you gonna finish that thought, Pat? Sorry.
No, I just some shows don't even have theme songs anymore. That's just the way things have gone.
It seems crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally does with me because I think that a lot, especially with movies now too. You know, they put out soundtracks for movies that would have like 5 or 6 hit songs on it. You remember how that used to be like a thing with so many movies, and I mean, it's marketing. I mean, aside from the money you make from selling the music, but then every time, you know, Breakdown came out by Bob Seger on the radio, it made me think of Beverly Hills Cop. Just you know, that's on my mind. I just reviewed that recently, but you know, basically every time they have these iconic songs that you know from movies, when they play it on the radio, it's basically advertising their movie. It seems like such a great, you know, thing for them to lean in on. You know, it's kind of like what we talked about with GI Joe and then comic books, and then it's connecting these, you know, bridging these things that gets more traffic to both of them. It's kind of crazy that they don't do that as much anymore. But anyway,
Yeah.
Like I said, check it out. The Fall Guy, Amazon Prime. Not bad. You got to watch the first half though. You got to suffer through the first half to get to the second half to enjoy it. But overall, I think it was worth it. It's fine. So.
Right. I'm probably not gonna, but okay.
You don't really have to pay attention too much. Just put it on the background one day when you're doing something else, Mike. After football season, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
I want to watch Lost. I'm gonna start Lost all over.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea, too. All right. And then lastly, the Penguin on Max dropped this week. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I've been hearing quite a bit about this.
Yeah,
So-
I feel bad because I haven't been excited about watching this. I don't know why, because I thought Colin Farrell did a great job in the Batman movie, and I love that movie. So maybe you can kind of get me excited to watch this.
Well, actually, what I was going to say is kind of the opposite. I was
no.
actually wondering why when I was watching this, and you know, without getting too much ahead of myself, you know, this is good. But I was thinking while I was watching, I'm like, what is the fascination with the Penguin? You know, I'm like, you know, I get the Joker. He seems way more interesting to me, you know. But and I guess the Penguin is kind of interesting, but man, it just seemed like an odd show to be. I shouldn't say odd. Obviously, just not my cup of tea. I guess you know. I just don't think the Penguin deserves his own show. But what I, you know, to kind of backpedal on that a little bit, I'd say, you know, but if you're a gangster kind of show fan, you know, which is, you know, what's happening here, you know, you might dig this. Colin Farrell's great. You cannot tell, obviously, it's Colin Farrell at all. And this literally picks up right at the end of the Batman. Like, this is, you know, the first thing you see in this show is essentially reminding you of what happened at the end of the Batman, because everything that happens at the end of the Batman is what kind of sets the ball in motion for everything we start to experience in the Penguin. You know, what's the mob boss names?
Falcone.
Yeah, Falcone. Yeah. He's killed at the end of the Batman. So then basically his son is going to take over, and the Penguin is working for him, and you know, things start to happen in that regard. You know, there's no Batman in this, Mike. And you know, what do you guys think of? Obviously, like we said already, Colin Farrell's doing a great job. What do you think of this interpretation of the Penguin anyway, Pat?
I thought it was okay. Definitely wasn't my favorite part of the Batman.
Yeah. Mike?
I agree. I think I like Colin Farrell. I think he did a good job, but the way the character's presented, it's Batman's a superhero book. It's a superhero with his villains are those super villains. He just seems like a regular freak thug. I don't need this set kind of world. Like I want
Something's happening to your mic. Mike.
Oh, I was moving it around.
Still there.
Right now?
You got major static going on.
Hold on.
Now you sound like a robot.
How about now?
All right, you're good. Oh, geez. Whatever's happening, you're reaching over to the right is what's doing the
Don't
static
do it.
thing.
Is it good now?
Don't do that.
Okay, don't do
One
it.
more. Okay, yeah.
So I want this super. I want a super villain. I want something more colorful and not real world. He just seems like a real world thug here. I want a little short guy waddling around, and I want penguins with rockets strapped to their back. I want that fantastic unbelievability.
Right. Yeah, right. Do you think the Penguin is called the Penguin more because of his nose or because he waddles? What say you, Pat?
Just because you like to. Because he liked to swallow fish whole. That's why I thought.
Okay.
I thought he just really liked to wear tuxedos.
Mike, your mic is still going nuts.
I didn't touch it. All right.
No, you should just unplug that thing.
Now?
Okay. Don't move.
All right.
Just stay just like that. Don't move. Oh, you move. Seriously, I think you should unplug that completely. It's like viewers are dropping like flies just because the sound. But anyway, Pat.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to compare this to, is like Sopranos. If you're a Sopranos fan, I think you'll really be into this, the Penguin. But yeah, as Mike was, I feel like what we could hear him say was alluding to, if you're a Batman fan, I feel like maybe this isn't it. There's no reason to watch this if you're a Batman fan, unless the Penguin's your jam. I guess Penguin's obviously survived the test of time. I guess there must be Penguin fans out there. Do you know any Penguin fan, Pat?
I'm a fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The movie. I was just curious. not the hockey team.
I was never really a big Penguin fan. Comics, movies, cartoons. Yeah, he's just sort of lower tier for me.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. Mike, testing.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say anything.
Okay, you're good. You're good. Yep. Well, that's what was making it even worse. It wasn't just happening when you were talking. It was literally happening the entire time. Like it was static and robots battling. It was like a bad sci-fi thing. It was crazy.
Sounds awesome.
Anyway. Well, watch our show and you'll see it for yourself.
Oh, yeah, I'll see it
during the Penguin review. Anyway, I just I was telling everybody, Mike, that this is like a Sopranos fan kind of show. Not really a superhero show. I'll probably still kind of pay attention to it. I can't imagine. Maybe if I get to the finale, I'll come back and give you what I think of the whole season. But I mean, it's fine. For that kind of show, I'm gonna give it a 7. the production quality is good, the writing's good, the acting's good, you know, all that stuff. It's just, again, not my cup of tea. So I've got 2 shows on what Kevin watched that weren't my cup of tea, but they were pretty good nonetheless. You know, I can appreciate something that isn't my tea. I don't particularly care for tea. I'm a coffee guy, but I can still appreciate a cup of tea, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So that's it for me.
You good? I'm definitely watching that. Hold Your Breath. I'm going to try to watch that tonight. I'm excited.
Okay,
to check
cool.
that out.
You have Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay. I totally forgot that. If I knew that, sorry.
Yeah, we have them all. So I can't afford comic books. We have them all.
Yeah. Everybody talks about that all the time too. That cable has just become, rather than having 800 stations you paid $100 a month for, now you pay $10 for 800 stations. You know,
Yeah.
$10 each. You know, it's crazy. You know.
Yeah.
So. All right, cool. You ready for the pick 3, Mike?
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't even mention Karen's not here. People have probably put that together on their own already because the background production is kind of lacking. So that's because Karen's not here, people, if you didn't know. So sorry I didn't mention that already.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay. All right.
Right. Afraid to touch anything here. I don't use a mouse. I use the little pad here. That's right in the center. I don't have a center arm. Put it over here to the side. I'm afraid to hit anything.
It seems like you're good now. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. All right. Here we go. 10 covers chosen from a list of 425. That's kind of a low one. And these are all due Wednesday, October 9th. So if you like any of these, get out there October 9th. We'll start off with Action Comics 1070 from Eddie Burrows. And then Absolute Batman #1, the Jim Lee cardstock variant. Spider-Boy 11. This is the second print, Paco Medina, who's the series artist. And I like when Marvel takes, I think this is from the interior, and I like when Marvel takes an interior panel that's pretty cool and makes it a cover on a reprint.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that, you know, not everything at Marvel gets me to frown. I like this one. Then Minor Arcana #2, Mike Del Mundo. Amazing Spider-Man 59. Even though it says the Uncanny X-Men, that's that weird thing that Marvel does.
I hate
just
that.
Talking good on Marvel, and then here, I get that they want to do these homages to these covers, but at least somewhere on the front, put Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
59.
Just somewhere. Exactly.
Yep. That's from Giada Personato. I'm sorry, I messed up the name. Then we have Phoenix #4, Yasmin Putri, and David Curiel is the colorist on that, which I think the colors were just spectacular there. So I wanted to highlight that. Scorched 34, Thaddeus Robic, Lady Mechanica #2, and this is the Devil in the Lake miniseries. Sia Ohm. I'm not even sure if I'm saying her name correctly. I never say it. I always read it in my head. So Gotham by Gaslight #5, Alex Maleev, and then Batman Full Moon #1, the Francisco Francavilla variant.
Lots of Batman this week.
There were a lot of Batman this week. I couldn't help it.
So many titles. What can you do?
Yeah, no kidding. All my DC pools are Batman books.
Right. Yeah. Very cool mix. I liked this week a lot. once again, you do such a great job at covering all the bases of different styles and characters. What did you think of this week, Pat?
Oh,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I
I
told Mike
know.
there was one clear winner here, and the rest were all losers.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
A clear winner? A clear winner?
Clear winner.
Okay.
I
Clear winner in my mind, or a clear winner? Because actually, I've got two guesses. One that I think would be a clear winner, and then one that I think you think might be a clear winner. But we didn't.
Mike also had guesses.
Yep, I did, and I didn't share them with Patrick yet.
Okay.
When I put these together, I pick everything, and it's not until Pat puts this graphic together that I kind of get what you're saying, Kevin. It's like the how varied it is, and
Yeah.
And that's when whenever I see Pat's graphic here, that's when I truly enjoy the covers. I'm like, oh wow, yeah,
Awesome.
this is a great little batch.
Yeah.
But I get where Pat's coming from with his artistic tastes. I did mark two of them that I figured he would like the best, and we'll see if I was correct on those.
Okay. Once we see the three, we'll
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Should we
Now-
guess now, actually? Because when we hear which his three, because I like to ask if you picked this or not, whenever you show the three, that might
Okay.
give it away. So should we guess now? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. You guess. Initially, I thought you said there were 2 winners, Pat, and then 8 losers, but you may have said 1 winner. I don't know how I
one winner.
2. Okay. Oh, and I
Okay.
think there were 2 that I thought could. And I'm like, man, these 2, he's got to like these 2. So I think that's why.
Yeah,
I
that's
two.
what. Yeah, I thought that's what you were getting at.
Yep. All right, Kevin, you pick. You can. Yeah, which one? Which one do you think
That Pat's talking about.
Pat actually liked? Yeah.
Okay. I feel confident that it's Minor Arcana. But I also feel it's possible that it could be that Superman cover as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Minor Arcana. What's your guess?
Mine was Minor Arcana and the Batman Full Moon. But I do.
Yeah.
I think what. Yeah, the action is a good guess on your part because I really like Superman in phone booths. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But, I picked those other ones because of how they're presented. They're not just the stereotypical covers. And I think Pat's more kind of a graphic designer, and that Francavilla cover with the way the shadow comes on. That's why I figured that one would be one of the ones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
anyway.
that checks out. And then I'll say what my clear winner. Well, you'll know once we. Well, no, you don't know. You only have out of 3. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So let's see what actually got the actual votes though.
All right, but Pat did select 3. I appreciate that. Got 3.
Oh, and that's the other question we always ask classically. To interrupt you again, how many votes did you get from New York, Mike?
3.
Sweet.
Yep. 3.
Okay.
Every cover received at least 2 votes, which was great. And we had a 3-way tie for number 1.
Oh man!
So I had to do my non-scientific reach out to my brother and have him put them in order for me.
Okay, cool.
All 3 of these were number 1, and my brother actually put them in order. So this is
deciding vote in order. Got it.
This is my brother Pat's top 3. All right, here we go. In excuse me, sorry, 3rd place, we have Minor Arcana, number 2.
Dagger.
This is from Mike Del Mundo. This is one that I thought Pat would really like because of that globe with the face through it. Pat, what are your thoughts?
Well, my family really liked it, but I did not.
Mm-hmm.
I have problems with her hand. Her hand's messed up. I don't like her hand.
Oh, really?
My family voted this one in too, and apparently I don't know anything because I thought she was like an astronaut, and that's an astronaut helmet. I thought she was wearing. That's what I thought was happening here.
Well,
Seriously.
yeah, I think she's. I haven't read the first issue yet. I think she's kind of a medium, or like she does the tarot card stuff.
Yeah, it checks out. Minor Arcana. Yeah. Mm-hmm, yep.
So that's where the what do you call it? The crystal ball. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put that together. I literally thought she was wearing a helmet.
All right.
All right.
Number 2, coming in second place, we have Gotham by Gaslight, number 5, Alex Maleev. Pat,
that's a pretty cool cover. Yeah, that's a cool cover.
thoughts on this one?
Chelsea pointed out, she's like, and I didn't see it this way, but that's all I can see now, is that she's like, why is Batman so big and all the buildings in front of him are so small? And I'm like,
That's true.
They're small buildings.
But when I see this cover, all I can see is, don't need to be crude here, but it looks like Batman relieving himself down a chimney.
Man, I hate this cover now. I still like it.
I'll never be happy. No gargoyle. They put him on a chimney. It's just as bad for me, apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
How about a water tower? Batman on a water tower?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Hook me up with that.
All right.
I am 0 for 2 so far. Daggum.
Yep. But Pat's family liked this one again, right?
One of them did, yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I think one of mine got a vote in for this one as well.
Oh, yeah. I saw the C. That was Cora. Yep. All right. Are you ready for the winner?
It better be the winner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because there's only one winner in Pat's eyes.
It's clear. It's clear. It has to be Pat because you said it's clear. Clear winner. So hold on. Let me find these. Okay, here we go.
Drum roll me in.
There we go.
Nice.
Action Comics 1070, Eddie Burrows. So this was your clear winner,
Pat. Thank you to the voters, and thank you to Pat for putting them in this correct order.
Karen's chiming in. I'm not exactly sure what she booed.
Let's see, because I'll tell you what Karen voted for. Phoenix,
so did
Lady Mechanica, and I can't find her third one here. Oh, Absolute Batman, the Jim Lee.
Ugh, boring.
But so what do you like about this?
Sort of the opinion I have about all Jim Lee's covers these days, and I don't know what it is, but man, I'm cold on all his covers lately. This cover is awesome. It's almost perfect. The only nitpick I have, and this is just a graphic nitpick, is the O in telephone. It throws it off. I always tell myself, artists, if you're going to do a cover or any artwork, if you are not a competent letterer, leave it to post-production to do the lettering,
right?
Because that O really bugs me in telephone.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a different font than the rest of them.
Yeah,
it needs
one side of that O should be thicker. You should follow even the end's kind of messed up. Normally one side, one stroke of the letter would be thicker, so one stroke of the O should be thicker than the other one.
Yeah.
Draws
But
my eye.
overall, yeah, I
Yes.
this was one of my favorites because of the phone booth. I like the classic S. I like
Yes.
the panels on the glass. Yeah, it's just really well done. So, all right, I'm glad you like this one then.
Yeah. I went 0 for 3. Can you put up the 10 again?
Yes, sir. There you go.
All right, Pat, since I'm honing in on your way of thinking, are you honing in on mine? What's my clear winner? If I were to say there was a clear winner on this.
Oh boy. Scorched.
I'm cheating because I'm looking at what you voted
Nope.
for.
No. I didn't even
Batman,
vote for
Jim Lee.
Scorched. Nope. Mechanica.
Huh.
I love that.
Yeah.
When I think Joe Benitez is the creator of Lady Mechanica. And this isn't his artwork, correct?
No, this so yes.
I really liked the look of the character, but I don't know. I like when he draws her. I wasn't too thrilled about that cover. A lot of white.
Yes, snow. It's a lot of snow.
Yeah, I like all that white with the snow, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I may have voted for Action. I think I voted for Mechanica, Spider Boy,
Yeah, Action and Spider Boy. Yeah.
and Action. Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I got
that Spider Boy cover. That Spider Boy
Yeah.
cover. I in the past I really liked Paco Medina, but he's been going more and more digital. And man, that girl in the window there.
Yeah.
That's definitely digital manipulation there. It's weird too because it looks just like my niece when she was younger. It's kind of funny, but boy, that just pulls you out, doesn't it? It doesn't even look like it fits with the rest of the cover.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking with why it kind of doesn't look right is she's supposed to be smushed up against the window, so it's like he's trying to get like a smush effect on art. I guess I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. Anyway.
All right. Well, once again, Mike, great job.
Thank you. And I had to put that Spider-Man up there, the X-Men cover, because we talked about that one, the original Jim Lee cover, a lot. So
yes, we have. Yeah,
that's why I threw that one up there.
I think that was a season 3 finale remark, right? No.
Yeah,
I think so.
Wait. Yeah, season 3.
Yeah, last year we did it.
No, last year.
Sorry. I was going to say that it not only does it annoy me that Marvel does that, putting the covers on the wrong books, but I wish they get better artists to do their Disney work. All these Disney covers look subpar to me.
Okay. I've liked a couple of them, but yeah, I wasn't feeling this one. I think because of how much I love the original, that made me not like this cover, actually.
Yeah.
It kind of didn't work on me playing on it, so.
Also, the corner box bugs me. Why is the Marvel logo why isn't Goofy Wolverine and the Marvel logo properly positioned in that box? That's ridiculous. Come on.
That's a good point. I mean, honestly, I think, yeah, it's like they've got people in positions that don't know their craft.
Yep.
Because, yeah, that's like layout 101, right? Anyway.
Maybe the final book will look different.
What'd you say, Pat?
So maybe the final book will look different, but I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Put a lot of faith in Marvel.
Okay.
Next?
Yeah. I was thinking, so season 3 finale was the Batman Adventures remark. Season 2 finale was the Uncanny X-Men
Well,
remark.
upstairs, Pop. I'll be back down in a little
Remember that?
Oh, it was not Batman. Not Batman Adventures, just Batman.
Okay?
But they
Oh,
had
it
the
was-
adventure. Yeah, remember?
In there.
Was that 420 or something?
Oh,
like that, or
Adventures
what?
of Batman. Adventures of Batman. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was still Batman. They just added
Right. I know, but I would. Yeah. Right. That one exactly.
because there are actually, I think there are Batman Adventures and Adventures of Batman books that aren't that.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's not Batman Adventures. Yeah. But it was weird when they were doing that with the Batman titles, switching
Yeah.
everything around. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
And
one of the
then
most
Batman
boring.
and Detective, and then Detective Comics with Batman. Yeah, they changed that. What?
Yeah, one of the I really disliked the logos at that time. Yeah, because it's Batman in Detective Comics.
Yeah.
Real small ones.
Yeah. All right, cool. Are you ready to let us in on the awesomeness that you got around to reading these last couple weeks, Mike?
I have read a lot.
Awesome. Oh, sorry, Mike. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Out of
Sorry.
a bunch that I read. What was that? Did you cut me off?
Yeah. Sorry about it. Sorry. About it.
That's funny. That's funny. You're a funny guy.
All right.
All right. I read. We've all seen this cover. It would be funny if Kevin, you reviewed this one because this is kind of right up your alley. We've all seen this cover, right?
Yes.
Wolverine #1, Volume 8. Because that's what they do. This is written by Saladin Hamed, and the artist is Martin Coccolo. For those that are new to the show, yeah, this was on Cover Combat 9, made it to the finals. I just ruined all the other episodes of Cover Combat 9.
No, because we don't know what the other one was. Huh.
So this came out September 11th, and this is rebooting Wolverine. Not rebooting Wolverine, just starting all over again. This is a kind of double size, and I don't have any interior artwork this time. I was kind of scrambling for time. The gist of this one is, and Kevin, this is right up your alley, all takes place in the winter. So this cover is spot on. A lot of snow, a lot of trees, all takes place in the forest. And I don't know if you all remember the character Cyber from a long time ago. I think he was real big in the 90s. And he basically,
I do remember.
he's just all animanium. And he is hunting Wolverine up in the Canadian woods. And Nightcrawler is hunting for Wolverine because Wolverine's just out running with the pack of wolves. He's kind of just escaping everything, doing his own thing out here with the wolves. Nightcrawler is out looking for him because he wants him to come back and help the X-Men. Now, I'm not reading the X-Men books, but because they're a mess right now, and I think literally Nightcrawler is trying to get Wolverine to come help the X-Men because they're a mess. There's a great fight between Cyber and Wolverine. Excuse me. And then, it's just, there's this is a terrible review. Great fight with Cyber and Wolverine. And then
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Cyber ends up, he's all beat up and he stumbles into this cave, and what's been awoken, we don't know yet because we're kind of just reading its thoughts, and it feeds on adamantium, and it wants to start with Cyber because it's basically his skin is all adamantium. So I think that's going to be an upcoming new villain. Excuse me, but that's how it ended. There's a lot that went on. It's basically just a really fast-paced, great, classic fight book. I liked the way Nightcrawler was presented in here as well. So what really, I was going to pass on this book But seeing the upcoming covers, like issue number 2, we've got Wendigo. So, we're going way back. I like the Wendigo character.
Why would you pass on this book? Why would that even be a thought anyway? What the heck?
Because I'm trying to cut back on the titles that I get.
Okay, but cut back.
I wasn't a fan of Saladin's run on Miles Morales, so it was kind of like, I wasn't really gonna pick this up.
But it's Wolverine. Come on now.
I know. But hey, look, I bought it.
Okay.
So now they're kind of saying this is a new take on Wendigo, so I'm not sure what's going to be happening coming up here, but so I'm giving it a shot, and so I think this is a get it. It was just really great classic Wolverine fighting in the Northwest.
Issue number 1, not issue number 2. You're just showing
correct.
issue
Issue
number
1.
one.
Issue number 2 comes out on the 16th.
Well, you beat me to it. I definitely was planning on reading this. I was going to review it after. It was going to be my first book to review after what I've been reviewing the last few weeks, since that's coming to a close this week. And I was going to start the new season, trying to keep up with one title, and I was going to pick this one. Yeah.
All right, you review number 2 and moving forward.
Okay.
Because you know me, I'm always jumping around. There's always something different.
Well, that's what we all do. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, you're trying to kind of stick a title.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah, in the next season, see how that works out. But I was going to say that what you mentioned while I was away for a minute. Yeah, I love 1, obviously wintry, cold covers, and then 2, yeah, I love when it's appropriate for the inside of the cover book. That's for sure. So that's awesome. Yeah. I like what I'm hearing with this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like Wolverine fighting for 3/4 of the book. That's what I read Wolverine for. I just want Wolverine fighting and slashing and battling. And that's what you get.
You picking this up, Pat?
I am not picking this up.
Pat, what? Come on.
You know what book that is?
I'm like more of a Wolverine as a team player. I never really enjoyed solo stories with Wolverine. Never really liked his solo book.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think Pat said that before. Like his whole Patch era and that that volume from starting late 80s. You know what I'm not getting anymore though is that Wolverine Revenge.
Yeah.
With I read the first half. There's a partial review. I read half of issue 1, and I wasn't interested.
So okay. I read that also.
I was gonna say, but Pat read it. He's probably gonna love it because it's a team.
Yeah, that makes me scratch my head even more. It almost makes me feel like, I'm a big Jonathan Hickman fan. That did not seem like a Jonathan Hickman written book. It's almost as if they said, let's let Greg Capullo draw whatever the heck he wants, and I'll come up with some kind of story to tie things together, because I was not digging that in first issue at all.
Yeah, I have the first 2. I'm not getting the rest, which sucks because I like Capullo's artwork. But anyway, get Wolverine.
It's funny that you show that cover to number 2, because you browse social media and you'll see like artwork, pages out of a book out of context. And I saw something that leads me to believe that that's what's coming up in this Wolverine book. And it's silly stuff. But we'll see. Maybe it may not even be related, but I think it probably is.
Yeah.
Well, I hope not. Okay. Yeah.
Now with issue number 3, the A cover by Capullo, it's okay, but there's a Ken Lashley cover that's actually even better because it's got Wendigo on it, which I don't have here. But issue 3, I'm definitely going to pick up the variant on that one. So anyway, there you go. Right. Wolverine number 1. Get it. Unless you like Team Wolverine. because Nightcrawler failed and talking Wolverine into coming back. Oh, this is another thing. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm not a fan. I like Wolverine and Logan. I like those two names. James Howlett, I was never a fan of. That's a terrible name.
Yeah, that's
I
so.
don't
How
even know.
recent is that too? That's so recent, right?
That happened when I wasn't reading Wolverine or reading a lot of books.
How
Probably
old do you think that
mid-2000s.
is, Pat?
No.
Yeah, 2000? No.
Yeah, I think like between.
Yeah.
I'm guessing between 2002 and 2009 or 10.
Wow.
Came out of
remember
the origins. That came out of the origin book, right?
Was it? Oh, the one from who did that?
Steve McNiven, Joe Quesada. Can't remember who wrote it.
The first
Maybe it was Joe
Origin?
Quesada. Yeah.
Maybe it didn't. I just don't remember. It didn't stick with me back then. Didn't
Well, what year was that?
Oh, geez.
Early 2000s or late
Early 2000s.
90s.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Huh, wow.
You have those book covers. I guarantee it. They were really, really good looking books. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's where it popped up. But it didn't annoy me as much as it does now over the last like 5 or 6 years. I just don't like it. It's Logan. I don't care what his name was before the Weapon X program.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
Well, great job, Mike. Pat, what you got?
What do I got? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got some like overviews. Like last couple times it seems like what I've been doing because I've been reading a lot. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Sensational She-Hulk. Here it is. Here's the complete run of 1 through 10. I know this book wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but like I said in the past, if you were like a manga fan, like superheroes crossed over with a little bit of romance type storyline, check this book out. Both the original She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell and the second volume, which they decided to renumber probably to boost sales, Sensational She-Hulk. The artwork in this volume was, I think, mainly and mostly all done by Andres Genele, and he's really good. Pretty much great covers by Jen Bartel up until number 7, and then she didn't do the last 3 for some reason, but even those covers are pretty good. So yeah, canceled, I assume due to low sales, but good book. I think just a lot of people just dismissed it, or it wasn't your thing. That's the other thing. So see you next volume, She-Hulk.
Okay.
Mainly here, what I'm going to talk about is 2 books headed in opposite directions. Okay, first we're going to talk about Daredevil. I read 6 through 13. This is Saladin Ahmed, previously mentioned on the Wolverine book that Mike just reviewed, and the main artist is Aaron Cooter. This, picking up right after the last volume of Daredevil, where he was killed off, basically, and all of a sudden we find him back alive again, and he's a priest. He's going by the name Father Matt. And we find out when he came back to life, he brought his sins with him. They escaped out of hell along with Matt, and they're attaching themselves to his friends and his enemies. And it's up to Daredevil to defeat these sins. That's kind of what this first run of books is all about, is Matt trying to figure out his new life and defeat the sins that escaped out of hell with him. It's funny because I don't really take the time to read every letters page if the book has it these days. I kind of just skim over it, and I saw one letter writer complaining about, oh, here we go again, Daredevil, Kingpin, Elektra, Bullseye. Everybody has to go through these same characters over and over again, and I'm done with this book. There's some validity to that point. When you read comics for decades, that's bound to happen. You get sort of recycled characters. But I give Saladin Ahmed some credit here because he's twisting it not only does he's twisting it because of the character's statuses he was given, Daredevil being dead, coming back to life, Elektra being the new Daredevil, the female Daredevil, Kingpin sort of, he was mayor of New York, then he lost that job and he sort of was tied in with the mutants, and his life is different. So they are the same characters, but there definitely is a remix here, and it doesn't feel like the same old to me. And so far, the writing has been fairly good. The artwork, Aaron Cooter continues to evolve and impress me. Sometimes you can see some inconsistencies, but I think he's getting better and better. And I really am starting to really enjoy his artwork more and more. So this book is trending in the right direction. It's heading upward to me. If I had to give it a get it or forget it, I'd probably say it's a get it. It's not a real strong get it, but it's a get it nonetheless. The artwork is good. I wish they would let Aaron Cooter do his own covers. I know John Romita Jr. is also a little divisive when it comes to choices in artwork, but I think many of these covers are pretty good.
I hate that 7, man.
Yeah, I don't mind that one at all.
Everything's all out of proportion. It looks funky as heck to me. Almost looks like a Frank Miller cut, with his new style. Something like that, Anyway, what do I know? The rest is pretty cool, though. Yeah.
Looks similar to that.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, that
go ahead, Mike.
Years and years ago, there was the Punisher Daredevil book. Well, the Punisher was in Daredevil, and I don't know. I think it's very similar to that. I think John did that cover too. They're kind of fighting over the city.
Yeah.
Same clothes on.
Yep.
And I was just going to add that. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I sorry, and I apologize too, because I must be on a little bit of a delay, because I'm like, I'm getting a clear indication where I can jump in, but as soon as I go to talk, I'm talking. Probably
yeah, it does seem like there's a delay in between us somehow, all three of us actually. But anyway, I was just gonna say that with that comment, if you're reading that in the letters page about someone going through the cycle with the same villains and stuff like that, I feel like that's kind of the stage you get into when you just check out of whatever you feel that way about. But if you don't expect that from, like you said, after decades and decades, if you don't expect that from a character that you're reading for decades, and they've got the classic popular villains that you're going to see over and over again, just seems like it's just time to check out of that title if you're feeling that way, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you should be as dismissive as to say same old. Give it a chance,
right?
But yeah, I can definitely see where people would be getting that feeling.
Yeah. All right, you got another one, right?
Yeah, this book unfortunately is heading in the other direction. That is The Incredible Hulk, and I read issues 9 through 16. Written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and I think that's probably the biggest problem here. The main artist is Nick Klein. He continues to do all the covers, and most of the covers are pretty good. There's some really good ones every once in a while. I don't think this is a really great batch. But one of the big problems here is like the secondary artist that goes between him and Nick Klein is Daniel Earls, and boy, sorry Daniel, you're just not my cup of tea, or shouldn't be on a Marvel book in my opinion.
Yeah, not my cup of tea either. I know what you're saying, Pat.
Yeah, are you familiar? Has he done books, or are you just saying in general?
Just from this book, that's what I'm familiar with. And I stopped. Issue 9 was the last issue that I picked up.
So. Okay. Yeah, that was right. He was doing the artwork right there, and man, there was some just really. either the art was not matching up with the writing. They were talking about certain characters and they were not what they were saying they were. A little hard to explain, but just doesn't seem like he's ready to be on a mainstream Marvel book. He needs some more experience. But basically, the whole gist of this volume is this mother of horrors trying to gain control of the Hulk, and the Hulk wants to be rid of Banner. And it's too much. He wants to cover these specific. And it seems like Philip Kennedy Johnson. These are known pieces of horror lore, creatures, entities, and he's trying to pull that into the Hulk book, and you know it's worked before with Hulk merging him with horror, but it's just not working for me here, and it seems like he's spinning his wheels. It's like, get to the point. We're on issue 16 here, and it's just this hole in the background of this mother of horrors trying to gain control of Hulk, and it's just like this journey is taking too long, and it's becoming uninteresting to me.
Mhm.
And I was doing my ordering for this past month, and they got me with one more issue, but it's right there. It's on the chopping block, and as of right now, going by the get it or forget it. It's just to forget it, and I don't see me sticking around much longer. Even, and here's another funny thing. I suffered through. Sorry, Daniel, but I suffered through some of those issues Daniel Earls drew, and the next issue here, oh, Nick Klein's back, and boy, it's like, I don't know. Excuse me, I don't know what the deal was, but some of his stuff was not doing it for me either. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think Hulk and the horror Hulk stuff, I think it's run its course for me. This is the second volume in a row now. I think Donny Cates kind of took it away from that, but then we're right back to it. I think we need to get back to superhero Hulk.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the next volume brings, because obviously he's not going to be writing for years to come. He'll probably jump off here in a year or two, and we'll get a new one.
Yep, I'm sure. And I'm kind of with you there. Get back to the superhero style Hulk, I guess, because I don't know. It's definitely the Immortal Hulk. I apologize because I said I was going to finish that book. I still have the last hardcover collection I need to read to finish that. But that volume worked for me. I was fine with the horror in that, but this, like I said, he's picking specific stories he wants to tell, and I feel like the Hulk is secondary. They could have used any character and plugged him in, and he could have told the same story. It's not really Hulk dependent, and it's just not. Yeah. Forget it.
Okay. Well, that's good to have one series that's on its way up and one that's on its way down. You can that's an easy fix then. Just cancel one and make sure you're getting the other. Got it. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right. You may have guessed what I read. I've been doing a pretty good job. Yes, Wolverine #1. I said that I didn't go that way, but actually, you're right, Mike. I did go. I read Wolverine No, I'm just kidding. No, I just stole your pick real quick. No, I am wrapping up 8 Billion Genies. Finally,
because I'm reading this next.
What'd you say, Mike?
Yeah, because once you're done, I would like to read this.
Okay, yeah. And by the way, I love this hardcover too, and it's so cool. I got a couple extra things I want to say about it once I get done with the story. But yeah, this is the cover for number 7 and the cover for number 8. And this brings it all to a close. And let's see what the biggest points of reminders I need to talk about without going through all 8 billion genies to get here again. Because I've gotten complaints that I talk about too many different genies, I guess. I don't know. But basically, if you remember, this followed like 4 different cliques of people throughout the entire series. And basically, when we get to issue 7, they were all separate and going to these factions of groups that have all worked out their wishes in a way that it's kind of a societal, where everybody who still has their genies and their people, well, some of them would only let you in if you still had your genie, if you didn't make your wish yet. I talked about that at the end of issue 6. Basically, the rock band, 2 of the members of the rock band still had their genies, and the one girl, which was actually the first wish that was wasted at the beginning of this series, they all went to this one faction that would only allow you in if you had a genie. And the 2 guys combined his genie, which this has to do with the finale, so I need to tell you this. The 2 guys combined their 2 genies into one genie, using one of their genies to wish that the last genie between the 3 of them would belong to all 3 of them, as a way to get the place they were going to agree to take their female friend or female bandmate with them into this safe haven, because they wouldn't do it otherwise. And then we have the superhero boy that wished he could become a superhero to protect his family and find a safe place for his family to go. His father wished for his mother to come back to life because she had passed. So basically, it's the family of the son, mother, and father are in another faction that the son has been allowed into and been able to bring his family, because he has superpowers and he can protect and fight for that faction. And then we have an Asian couple that the husband wished to be a super soldier with all kinds of armor and gadgets and stuff to be able to survive the craziness that is the world of 8 billion genies, and protect his wife. And she's pregnant and she has a baby. So those are kind of the people we're still paying attention to at this point. But basically what starts to happen in 7 and 8 for the most part is the factions just start fighting each other. They all, I guess, get power hungry, get they want to control all the genies that are left on the planet, and they all fight. And they all fight to a point to where they all come to an end. That's kind of the meat of 7 and 8. And then as we're going along in this journey, this isn't happening quickly. Like, years and years are going by, decades and decades are going by while all this is happening. And then to fast forward to the end of the story altogether, we actually learn something I didn't even think about, really. I just kind of took it at face value because it's 8 billion genies. But do you remember the bar owner at the beginning of 8 billion genies that he used his wish to create a safe haven from the outside world because he knew it was going to be crazy with everybody getting one wish? Remember that bar owner? We found out he's actually a genie. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even really wonder, well, how's that happen? Because obviously all this is fantastical. Just believe what they tell you. But basically what we find out in issue 8 is that when there's only one genie left, that genie gets to become a person. So that's what that bar owner was, the last genie from the previous time that 8 billion genies came around, because there's always one last genie left. And basically the way this cycle works is the genies wait till there's 8 billion people on the planet, and then they pop in, and then ultimately, and I guess we're supposed to believe with the way that 7 and 8 are written, that this kind of works out the same exact way every time, that ultimately humans are so fallible that they end up destroying each other to a point of very few people until the last genie is left, and then that last genie becomes a human and sticks around just to kind of observe humans until there's 8 billion genies again, and then so on and so forth. This cycle keeps happening. This has happened. I think it's happened like 1,000 times they talk about in this already by the time we're at this story. So and basically the final genie always becomes this bar owner type person. So at the end of issue 8, the final genie that was around from the story we followed is actually the bar owner. He becomes the bar owner at the end of issue 8. Now, he's not the exact same bar owner. It's just after they live their life and everything they go through, that's just kind of always how they land their decision who they want to be, because also they can become human, but they can basically shapeshift. They can live life as a woman. They can live life as a man. They can live life as a dog. They can do whatever they want, or not, maybe not a dog. All these different humans, though. This genie gets this kind of superpower, and they're immortal, so they can't die. They cover this whole thing too, that even if they were destroyed down to a microscopic atom, they would reform, into a human. They cannot be destroyed. This one last genie. So anyway, then what they do to us at the end of this too is we also find out once this final genie, we discover he's another bar owner. Then 2 characters show up, and one is the Asian lady's daughter. And the reason she's still alive, and the very end of this, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. I apologize. This review sucks. Anyway, this is thousands of years into the future by the end of this now. But it's still like modern times too. Like we're at the pinnacle of humanity is kind of how this thing goes. There's no sci-fi futuristic. It's just every cycle comes to a head at 8 billion people. So it's not modern time for us, but it's basically this genie apocalypse every single time. And then it reboots and then it starts over again. So anyway, the Asian lady's daughter actually survives till the end because she never chooses to use her genie. And what exactly? Oh, man, I'm kind of flaking on it right now. The reason she survives all this time is something connected with her never using her genie, and something that happened with her genie because she was born during all this, and her mother made some kind of wish that protected her. So the other one we see is the third band member, the female that wasted her wish first. Whenever they did this whole pact of we only want one genie and that genie can only be controlled by the 3 of us, she couldn't, and ultimately there was this connection with her that she could never die. That essentially made her immortal when the other 2 bandmates died, because she's the only one that could, since the genies are immortal and she never used her wish, she's the only one that could use the wish for that. It was this it sounds really convoluted, but it's written well enough to where it explains it better than I'm explaining it. I apologize. But basically there's this connection with both of their genies that these two girls, the main characters from the beginning, part of the main characters from the beginning, are the last two humans on Earth with the bar owner genie, with the genie that becomes the bar owner again. Okay. The last two wishes that happen in this cycle. The first one is, I wish I didn't have a wish. Okay. So her genie disappears, and now there's one genie left again. And does anybody want to guess? It's supposed to be this deep, thought out final wish to kind of fix things for basically, all the nightmare that's happened all this time. It's the bandmate girl who has the final wish, and she's basically trying to stop this cycle of genies, because the genies aren't bad. The genies are basically just they aren't like these haters that they just want to keep destroying the world. They just know that the world's going to destroy itself, so they just want to be a part of the game until human beings figure themselves out. So essentially, the bandmate lady figures things out. She's got one wish to fix forevermore of humanity. What is that wish, Mike? Do you want to go first? You're muted, Mike.
Muted.
I actually muted you, so I didn't hear the last two wishes that you were just talking about, because I don't want it to spoil. So I don't know.
Oh, you don't want it spoiled? Okay.
I don't mind all the other stuff, but when it's like, oh wait, that might be a cool reveal when I read it. So that's why I muted you.
Okay. Pat, do you want to know the spoiler?
It doesn't matter to me.
All right, Mike, am I muted? I'll take that as a yes since you're not responding. Okay. Spoiler for everyone else. If you don't want to know what the big finale is to 8 Billion Genies, the final wish to fix humanity throughout forever is she wishes everyone would just love everybody else the way they would wish to be loved. What do you think of that, Pat?
It checks out.
Right.
Y'all done
right,
ruining
Mike,
it for everybody?
Yeah, I'm done ruining it for everybody. You're probably right, though. Actually, that is what kind of they kind of pack a lot. That's what okay. So my overall review for the series now, they seem to pack a lot. Actually, I'm going to compare this to Game of Thrones again. I keep comparing that. We're talking about finales and stuff, and there's no spoilers in here, Mike, so you can listen. Basically, the first 4 or 5 issues are just very compelling because it's a very interesting story. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then, like, starting with 6, 7, 8, they got to wrap this, starting with 6 and then through 8, then they kind of got to wrap this up. And a lot of time passes in just a couple pages, and a lot of things are explained that happen. And they express that through the art, of course, but it becomes less interesting. It becomes, how this is playing out. You're just kind of checking it out as it's playing out. So I was going to say, Mike, that I'm glad you checked. I'm glad you didn't want it spoiled, because I do feel like what made me enjoy, especially 7 and 8 the most, was getting to the, I want to see what this final wish scenario thing is going to be. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
whether it accomplished in being great or not, I mean, I wouldn't say great. it's fine. It's good. But yeah, I think just getting to the end and seeing how this wraps up is what got me through 6, 7, and 8. It wasn't as interesting as 1 through 5 was, and kind of clever with the way it was written and all that stuff, you know. So, I mean, overall, I still think it's a solid get it. It leans into must-have territory. Everybody cheats with the way they word the reviews, but definitely a solid get it. And I'll lend you my copy, Mike. And yeah, I got the trade, hardcover trade of all 8 issues, and it's really cool. In the back of the hardcover trade is a collection of all of the covers for even all the variants of all 8 covers. So all 8 covers and all the variants in the back. So like literally when I got into what was issue 8, there was still like a bunch of pages left. And I was like, daggum, I was thinking, what was 8, like a supersized issue or something? Because I was thinking I was so far from the end still. But then when I looked in the back, and there's there's probably 30 pages of covers. Maybe I'm exaggerating. 15 pages of covers at the very end of the book, which was cool. I really like that kind of stuff as well. And then it kind of showed it's got the, art showing how the genies evolved from their first vision of how the genies were going to look and how they ultimately decided, all that good stuff that's included with something like that. So if you want to get the trade, I would definitely recommend that. And I love the hardcover. So anyway, overall, 8 billion genies. Solid get it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Overall, what were you going to say, Mike?
I'm mad at myself for not picking them up as it came out.
Yeah. All right, Pat. You ready to show us why we have to steal our wallet?
I am. Hey, no, we're spoiling things. How dare you?
Already?
I didn't
Sorry.
put that up.
That was my fault, probably.
Oh, okay.
All right,
All right,
we'll
cool.
start off small and build up. Start with some McFarlane. And the newest wave of superpowers was announced. Stop me if you've heard these characters before. Well, Bizarro's new and the Riddler's new, but I feel like we're getting a little too much Batman and Superman every time. And this is sort of a nod to the Super Amigos line back in the day, because they did a Riddler very similar to this, where they just basically reused the Hal Jordan repainted body as the Riddler. And that's kind of what they seem to be going for here. But the Bizarro's cool. I don't know about this wave, though. I see clearance in the future.
Yeah, that Riddler's straight up Green Lantern. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think there's someone that collects all of these Superman and Batmans?
Yeah, collects all the superpowers for sure.
Yeah,
People
all the
are,
superpowers.
yeah,
Superman
you
and
know
Batman.
how that goes. Yeah, collectors always go all in. They'll get
Yeah.
everything in a line. So there's definitely somebody out there doing it. Or
Yeah, I agree
somebody's.
with you though that the Bizarro is the coolest one out of that batch. That's for sure. Yeah.
We'll stick to the same basic scale. We have some this year's Christmas releases through Disney Shop. You can get these on Shop Disney, or you get them at the parks. And here's their Christmas astromech droid R4
Oh,
TR3.
geez. Sorry, I all geezed over you. What's his name again?
R4 TR3 or R4 tree. I guess.
For tree. I don't know. Actually, I'm not hating that one. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think of that one?
I think it's fine as a gimmick holiday thing, like like we had the Halloween zombie droid a few months back. I kind of like them.
Okay.
And you're talking, you're not lower price point here, so $15 for the figures on Shop Disney or in the park. So it's not like a major investment, I guess. Yeah, so this is the second year they're doing the advent calendar. I had this on my radar last year. I was kind of hoping to pick it up after Christmas on clearance or something. I never did. They're doing it again this year. And that is the Droid Factory advent calendar. So you collect and build the droids as you go through the Christmas season.
Was that box shaped like that last year too?
Yes, I believe it was.
Huh, I don't remember that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Again, hit or miss probably on the droids if you like them Christmassy or not, but I think they're kind of neat.
You know what that green droid's from, right?
Sorry?
You know what that green droid's from, right?
He's the droid from Andor. It's the style of droid from Andor.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. What'd you think of him?
I liked him.
Yeah, me too. They do a good job with droids. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So, we're going to move on to a larger scale here. We're going to hit some Marvel Legends, and this was last week's Target Fall Geek Out Marvel Legend, and I believe he's already sold out. Maybe you've seen him in the stores because they were timing this so he would show up in stores at the same time. I did not see him at my Target, and that is Venom Pool.
I always mean to ask Ty if he's a fan of Venom Pool or not, because he's always liked Deadpool, and obviously he loves Venom. So I wonder if he loves Venom Pool.
Yeah, it's almost like a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's chocolate and peanut butter, two of his favorite things.
Hey Pat, I actually have a real quick question about the droids again, real quick. I'm sorry. Can you go back one pick?
Yeah.
So, do you know if these advent boxes, does a droid come in each one, or does a droid come in one and parts come in another, stuff like that? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it's parts. Traditionally, the Droid Factory in the parks, you could assemble them. So I don't know if you might get part of the BB-8 droid one day and then part the next, and then.
Okay.
It's one of those things. They have to fill up the whole month of December. So.
Well, I'd be thinking it would be really cool if there was 25 droids, but I was thinking they probably don't have 25. That'd be like $100 box then or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and the price on that, by the way, $80 for that Droid Factory Advent card.
Oh, it's already 80 with it. Is the way.
And this is why I've never done one of these cool Advent calendars. I always see them for different, various things. Like, oh, I'm going to do that. $45. Oh, I'm not going to do that.
I actually invested in my first Advent calendar like that this year. I couldn't resist myself. It's Christmas Vacation Pops. So I got that, and I actually already got it delivered. I got it off TikTok Shop. It was the first time I ever bought something off TikTok Shop as well. But anyway, I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah. Back to Venpool. He is $35. He's an oversized figure. Obviously, he's a big hulking type figure in the Venom scale with the Deadpool overlay on him. So yeah, like I said, I think he sold out fairly quickly online, but he's supposed to be in stores, so you might still be able to find him there. Again, part of Target's Fall Geek Out. This was the last week of Target Fall Geek Out. And this week were some pops, I think, but I didn't care to spotlight them here. But fear not, because when one Target Fall Geek Out ends, a Walmart Collector Con begins, and their Marvel Legends offering is Quicksilver, the green costume on a retro Avengers card. So there you go. If you're a big fan of Pietro, have at it. The price on him.
Cool.
Normally 25, but maybe because he's a Walmart Collector Con, he might get the $5 additional fee, so it might be $30, but who knows? Keep an eye out. All right. Now, if those weren't expensive enough for you, we'll go really expensive. I remember when they showed teasers of this, and I was intrigued, and there's parts of this I do like, but parts I don't. And that is the premium format Sideshow Beast statue. All right. So there's two versions of this statue. One, the collector's version is $725. These are big boys. Keep in mind, premium format statues are really big statues, mixed media. Often there's some fabric involved or cloth goods, and addition to being a statue. So this is their big line. And the exclusive version is $750. So $25 more. You'll get an extra head, and we'll get to that as we go through the picks here. So there, and Kevin, we're getting the front and back at the same time, so no extra shot for you there.
Well, I was gonna seriously ask you having a back shot of which would be the front of half of him. I understand that, but I'm curious because that one, what is that? His right foot seems to look good, but the left foot's kind of wonky. That's what I'd like to see, a different angle of that.
I kind of had this similar reaction when I saw it myself. I do have a front / back shot, but it's missing. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
The first image you showed, it wasn't very impressive. This is a much better angle. It looks way better here.
Yeah, I agree. This angle's better too. Yeah. You said you weren't a fan of this Beast version, right, Pat? Right? In general.
No, this is the Beast I prefer, but I don't like when they lean into the. I don't like when they put him in a trench coat and all that jazz.
Okay.
There's a close. I think it's a really great head sculpt.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
And here's where the exclusive version comes into play, because they also have his cat-like evolution, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't like cat-looking Beast. This is my Beast here. There they are side by side. And there's some shots of the details on the base. It's funny because I did have a picture of the front / back because I was curious, because I wanted to see, it's unusual. I don't really think of Beast being in the darker colored black shorts. Usually they're like darker blue, I believe. I wanted to see if there was an X on the belt. There is an X on the belt. Well, when we're talking here, I might be able to find it, pull it up. But yeah. I think initially they showed, the initial tease was like a close up of his hand, and I thought, oh, that shows promise. And I do like the head sculpt. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the contorted body. I get it, but I don't know if it comes off 100% perfect here.
Yeah,
I do give him credit,
Yeah.
I do give him credit for trying a different thing here, doing a different pose. I think it's the engineering is kind of cool because he's balanced on one hand and he's all contorted in. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, you can just put that book on a little book stand on his feet. Instead of using this hand to stand and this hand for the book, then he could just.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why are you doing this so aerobically? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you doing gymnastics while you're
Or
mixing these weird
acrobatically. Right. Yeah.
acrobatic?
To show that he can. That's the answer. To show
Yep.
that he can.
Just
Yeah.
So, like,
show off.
yeah, my favorite parts is that head sculpt right there and that base. Those are my favorite parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I
Yep.
started to say when I almost interrupted you, Pat, was that I think it's a tough thing to get done right. But yeah, I think they did okay for what it is. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I would never in a million years buy this for $750 though. Even if I had a spare $750, I would not. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
Pat. Go ahead.
Nope. That was pretty much it for the Beast. And then we'll move on to the final segment of the Horizon this week. And then we're going to talk a little bit about physical media and steelbooks because it was the big talk of the steelbook community this week. Had everybody on pins and needles. And that was the release of the Deadpool and Wolverine steelbook, which was kind of a debacle this week. We're in this sad state these days of stores are getting less and less physical media. Best Buy was the exclusive Marvel Steelbook home, and now Best Buy no longer carries steelbooks or carries physical media. And as a second side note to that, my Target quit carrying physical media this week. I was there on Wednesday morning, physical media, although it was a very small section. It had been dwindling down. Then we went Thursday night, gone. So yeah, not happy about that. Especially it's crazy because this week Target has a buy two get one free on books, music, and movies. So kind of a
I
head
love when they
scratcher
do that.
there.
Yeah. Man, I feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big mistake too because I don't know if you guys feel the same thing, but I feel like physical's making a comeback. Do you get that sense as well? Like, I feel like people are starting to finally learn the benefits and the negatives to all digital, and obviously we knew what the benefits were for having the physical, and we knew the negatives too because of space, yada yada. But so that's what was appealing about the digital, but I feel like it's kind of starting to roll back a little bit. Like it's a bad time to give up on complete physical media. What say you, Pat?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because I feel like that is sort of what the populace is kind of coming to the conclusion where things can be taken off of a streaming service or edited on a streaming service. But the timing, the decision has already been made to cut back, housing the physical media in the brick and mortar stores, and it's the timing couldn't be worse. It seems it's like people are finally realizing that, but the decision has already been made, so it might swing back in the other direction. Who knows? But
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, because it may have been put in motion 6-7 months ago. I imagine these big box stores, they kind of say, okay, by this point, the third quarter or whatever, we're going to do away with this, and then by the time they do away with it, everything changes.
Sure.
Right. I think it's a lot of times the video games are. I think the video game community is sensing it a lot, where some games aren't available anymore. And it's like, look, you pay $80 for this, you've got it digitally, and then somebody loses the rights to something, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
Where if you had the physical thing, you always have it. And I know the games are difficult because they're so big that it won't fit on just a disc. So I mean, that's a terrible position to be in. I don't know how they get around that, but yeah, I agree, Kevin. I think slowly people are coming back to physical media.
Yeah. And it kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about earlier too, with how we've also kind of been through this evolution of, you know, I got rid of cable a long time ago because I'm just like, I'm just going to have the streaming services. But then now it's like I mentioned earlier, it's like I've got so many we've got so many streaming services now that it's getting to a point where it's as expensive, if not more expensive than what we were paying for cable. So it's like that learning curve with there too. That involves physical media as well, because I'd rather just have a collection that I can access rather than having to subscribe to a service. Like that's the only reason I'm still subscribed to Disney Plus is because of its catalog as opposed to the new stuff that's coming out. I want all that catalog easily accessible to me, but since I have a majority of it, on physical media, that's starting to wane on me too. I might cancel because that it's like, I like to have that easy access to a catalog, just pull it up anytime I want, but that's just me being lazy. I can go across the room and just get the physical media. So, you know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy, all this evolution we're all living through as this kind of, ebbs and flows into what people enjoy and what people don't, it's, or what's important and what isn't, that kind of thing, all that wrapped in one, so it's all connected.
Yeah, and so this release is, like I said, it was a head scratcher because this comes out in 2 weeks. It comes out October 22nd. And it had not been put up for pre-order. We had pictures of it. We knew it was coming. But here's another part of the issue, I believe, also, is that Disney is no longer producing their own physical media. They third-partied it over to Sony. Sony is making all of Disney's physical media right now. So I don't know if that was part of the issue here. It was sort of the switch over. It got caught in that another kind of switch over. But people were like, this release is 2 weeks away and we still don't have pre-orders for this. In the good old days, it would have been Best Buy. Best Buy would have had it up for $34.95. Maybe it would have come down on release. Yeah, exactly. So everybody was kind of just waiting, and you're following along the forums, like, is this thing going to go up today? And it started popping up overseas in the UK for pre-orders. And it's like, it's got to be close. It's got to be close. And finally, I think it was Tuesday, I finally did hit pre-orders, but there again, there was problems there because the pricing is so just everywhere. It's crazy. Some people had it up for like $68. Some people had it for like $49.
Wow.
It just makes no sense at all. I wish I had. I missed kind of a spreadsheet because I was trying to follow it and track it. Getting back to what's going on here, there's two versions, as you can see. So they're even double dipping you here with a variant cover. There's the Deadpool cover. And there you can see the front and the back and the inside. And there's the Wolverine cover. Okay, so I ultimately was going for the Deadpool cover because it's his movie, even though I like the Wolverine cover better.
But if I get the Wolverine cover, I want the Wolverine characters inside. I don't want Deadpool inside.
Well, that's the idea.
Well, that might have something.
Yeah, right.
I get the Deadpool, I want the Deadpool inside. Hold on, who's making these decisions? They're poor.
It's all over the place because some people were even saying, why didn't they just make the front cover Deadpool and the back cover Wolverine or something like that?
Right.
And there's steel books are actually, you can easily modify steel books. So some people are actually doing that. They're going to buy both versions and then Frankenstein them together to have Deadpool on the front and on the back. If you want to know my personal experience here, I have both versions pre-ordered 3 different places till I see what happens with this release.
Yeah. Then you can cancel if you don't want.
Yes. Yep. Or I shouldn't say this in a public forum, but it also depends on the condition I would receive them in, because steelbooks are so notoriously, it's the double-edged sword of steelbooks. They're cool, they're easily damaged. And the shipping these days with Amazon and Walmart is a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get. I guarantee you my steelbooks from Amazon will come in a plastic bag,
Oh man.
which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you remember the good old days when Amazon would, if you ordered a book or a movie, they would wrap it to a piece of cardboard and then put it in a box?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Not anymore. Throw it in a plastic bag and the delivery man drop kicks it onto your porch.
Well, what I'm hoping, maybe they'll just continue to do poor service, go downhill, and then we'll be full circle. We'll get some brick and mortar stores that will open up.
Right.
Again in a video store. Because everything good seems to go that route. You know?
Yeah. And by the way, you know, I mentioned that it was up for pre-order different places, and I have it pre-ordered different places. It's not an exclusive. That's a good thing, I guess. And it's not. It possibly might pop up. I would have expected this to pop up in my Target. Well, it's not going to pop up in my Target anymore, but it probably will be on physical Walmart shelves. So who knows? This will be on Walmart shelves, I think. Well, I take that back. Maybe this won't be on Walmart shelves, but this is a Walmart exclusive that I'm going to show you next. This is not a steelbook, but this is their exclusive Walmart version of the Blu-ray, and it is a pop-up slipcover.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how that works.
So usually with stuff like that, just the front pan, it's like, you know, the front panel will open up.
Okay, I see.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, it's
it is
not
really
the case that holds the disc. That's just the cover, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to go this route and get a pop-up cover,
that's probably the route I'm going to go. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
By the way, this version is the Blu-ray digital code. The Steelbook is the 4K Blu-ray digital code. So, if you're so inclined.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go to another release. We'll dip back into the Steelbooks. I figured since the Deadpool Wolverine thing was such a point of controversy this week, it'd be a good week to spotlight some upcoming stuff. And we'll go with one I've had pre-ordered for months and months, and that's Godzilla -1. That's coming out November 19th. This was also a weird one as far as pricing goes. It was up and down. The good thing, you know, you cross your fingers and hopefully their tracking is Amazon, and now Walmart has pre-order price guarantees where if it drops lower, you'll get that lower price. And that's what happened with this Godzilla -1. It was initially much higher than it currently sets at. Some people have actually said, you know, this has been up on Amazon, it has sold out on Amazon. Some people have seen this pop up for like $24.95 or something like that. But my pre-order has not dropped to reflect that price. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, unfortunately, the point of contention about this release is it does not have -1 color for some reason. That remains an exclusive to this big box set that they made. It's sort of like the Japanese exclusive, but they made a variation for the for United States that has, and it's so far that those are the two only places that have the minus color version on physical media.
These are awesome, though. That's for sure. Mike, you got
Also coming out.
Yeah, I want to. I didn't pre-order this. But like Patrick was saying, I really want the minus color with it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's kind of reluctant to buy this if it's not going to have it. And then 3 or 4 months down the road, we get another version that has minus color. So I'd be fine without getting a steelbook because I don't collect steelbooks. So I'd be fine just waiting for a standard release with minus color also. But it's tough for the steelbook collectors.
Yeah.
They're going to get double hit.
Also coming out November 19th is Beetlejuice. This is a glow-in-the-dark steelbook, has a plastic overlay case. You can kind of see what's happening there. So yeah, I have not seen the movie, but
Daggum.
Yep. I have not seen the movie, but I pre-ordered this one as well.
I heard
I
nothing
wanna
but great things about it.
What was that, Mike?
I want to collect steelbooks so badly. That's awesome.
I figured, I have the first Beetlejuice in a steelbook, so I was like, yeah, all right. And I thought it was pretty neat.
I mean, it's Tim Burton and Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I heard
I'm
it's
a big
really
fan. I'm a big fan of the steelbooks that have the plastic overlay on them. In fact, that's my preferred way. I have some protective sleeves like that from all my Marvels. And that's I like them when you can just slide them over like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people get the box version and there's it's enclosed on all sides. Too much work. I like to be able to slide them out.
Yeah.
All right. December 3rd. And I apologize. And we've talked about these on our private group, but I figured it was a good time to show them all. December 3rd, Shaun of the Dead 20th anniversary EC homage cover design here. And this, they keep touting this as a 4K only, but the disc, the blue disc looks like it has a Blu-ray label on it. So I don't know if it's a combo pack. I haven't looked recently to see if the information on the pre-orders has been updated, but it certainly looks like it could be 4K plus Blu-ray.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one I definitely will own. That's so cool. The discs look like records. I love it. That's great detail right there.
Yeah.
And to wrap up the Steelbook segment, just how we started it, unfortunately, we have Joker, Folie Adieu. Sorry for my pronunciation.
What's that
Joker
mean?
2. It's when two people share the same delusion.
Ah, okay. I'm hearing bad things about this.
I'm hearing you either love it or you hate it. I was not a huge fan of the first one.
Me neither.
But I've seen some people talking about. I listened to a review about this one, and it was similar to me. The person reviewing it did not like the first one, but he thought this one was knocked it out of the park. So I don't know.
Oh wow! Well, I haven't heard anybody say that yet. I've watched a few reviews.
If you don't like musicals, you're not going to like this.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When did that come about? I just saw that yesterday. It's like, this is a musical.
Well, they're saying.
Yeah, I kind of knew that for a while.
It's kind of, some people will call it a musical, but some people just say there's a lot of musical parts to it, but not enough to where they would consider it a musical. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess a true musical, they sing the whole thing, but yeah, if there's like dance numbers and music numbers, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, is The Greatest Showman a musical?
Yes, I think so.
See, I don't consider it a musical.
But then again, yeah, Emily might not consider a musical, and that's like, she loves stuff like that because they don't sing the whole thing. So
right.
Yeah. I will see.
Anyway,
Yeah, and here they're it's funny because when they posted this, a comment from one of the people that I knew from the Wolverine Deadpool, they're like, "Oh, here, see, they get it. They put Harley on the front and Joker on the back or whatever, so I don't have
yeah.
to Frankenstein this one. They're both here, so."
I was actually going to say this is the most basic of all the ones you've showed us, though. I like this one. Like there's nothing special about it. I mean, it's fine. It's just the other ones are pretty cool in some different ways, but this is pretty basic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from there. But yeah, nope, no, I didn't. This one's to be announced. No release date. It'll probably be in January, I would think. But no pricing on. I didn't. I was hesitant to talk about pricing because pricing is so out of whack these days. I don't even know what to think. So, but if you want steel books, you need to kind of pre-order them because they can sell out, or sometimes they hang around forever. You just don't know. But that's it for the Horizon this week. Switching on.
All right. Great work. Great work. You and Mike both do excellent work with the mixing it upness of everything. You never know what you're going to get, so that's great stuff. And yeah, like Mike's commented on, you make me want to collect steel books. But I don't have any 4K capabilities. So did you say all steel books are 4K now?
Not all, but it seems to be they're sort of catering to that collector niche. If you're going to get a steel book, you're probably going to have 4K, and whether that's a good decision or not, I don't know. Unfortunately, that seems to be more and more there. Where it used to be a combo, they would have the Blu-ray and the 4K. There's a trend to ditch the Blu-ray these days if they're going to do 4K. So,
gotta upgrade that Xbox of yours.
Yeah, because the Xbox X is 4K a player, right? But then you got to have a 4K TV as well. So I got to update my TV too. Yeah.
Well,
right, Pat?
It'll still play. You just won't get everything out of it.
Yeah, to truly appreciate
if
it, you gotta have a 4K player and a 4K TV.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with the tube TVs. It's still got a tube in the back. We'll play on that. I'm just kidding. I'm not quite that old, but it is close. I still got old school stuff. My phones and my TVs and my video game systems are not like they used to be. I think maybe 10, 15 years ago, I always wanted to buy the newest, latest, greatest thing that was coming out, but now I just want everything I have to last forever, so I don't ever have to buy another. Phone's the toughest one for me. I just wish my phone would survive forever, but they keep breaking them remotely, I think, to make me buy a new one, So, all right, let's get into this recap. Teaser for season 5. I'll make the commitment right now. There will be a recap unwrap intro. We will not have the old school show recap. We'll see what I can do with that. What do you got today, Mike?
Today I have a Batman figure bag clip. So I guess these have the little hooks. So you put them on your backpack or something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've got a few of those.
Batman, Bruce Wayne, a Batman poster, Vicky Vale, Alfred, Batmobile, Harvey Dent, and Commissioner Gordon with 2 exclusives, A and B. Man, I'm just looking at the price. I paid $9 for this.
Damn, what do you got, Pat?
Well, I got Target clearance. I talked about finding stuff on clearance. I got these guys. Spider-Man Attack Series by Hero Box, and these were originally $9.99. They were marked down to $2.99.
Okay.
And
wow. Yeah, that is a deal.
Here's your choices: Ghost Spider, Venom, Miles, Parker.
Those are cool.
I know who I got. I know who I got here. You can tell
Ow.
very easily from the weight.
Man, you're so good at that kind
There's
of
only
stuff.
one. There's only one big figure in this assortment, and I should have him here.
Okay.
That's awesome. I hope you're right. That'll be
I
so
hope
great.
you're right too. And I showed mine last week. I've got the Disney princesses figural bag clips.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for Belle for my wife.
Hmm.
I think I can no matter what princess I get, one of my females in my life would want it. So that's the way I chose to go this week. So all right, Mike, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm hoping for the Batmobile.
Okay.
I like the Batmobile. Oh, seriously? It's
What?
the Batmobile.
Oh, nice.
Dang, this thing's kind of cool.
Oh man, you froze. Oh, there you go. Put it up to the camera again.
This thing is cool.
That is cool. Oh, come
Yeah.
on. They couldn't actually have wheels on it.
No.
Although I actually did have a Dark Knight Rises Batmobile, and it had wheels. And the first thing that broke on it is the wheels. So maybe that's a good thing it didn't. Doesn't have wheels, yeah.
Yeah.
You got a recap quip as well, Mike?
Yeah. A lot of great stuff in my previous thing. I'm really excited for that Dust to Dust.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. Looking forward to.
Pat.
Yeah, looks good. All right, let's see what's going on here. One thing we learned on this week's show is don't hold your breath on Mike finishing Lost. Look at that.
All right. We're gonna take your word for it until we see it. Yeah, I guess you got this figured out, but we still have to see. I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. Can I see the back of that?
Yeah, 1 second. I just lost. I think I minimized my stupid touchpad on my laptop. Hold on.
Nice. That is cool for $2.99. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got. I gotta put his base together. He's got like a little background cityscape thing and a little Spidey Man logo thing here.
Man, that is awesome for $2.99. Jeez, what a deal.
Yeah, they had tons of these when they were down to like $5.99, and I could tell there was a lot of Venoms. I gotta get this stuff off my laptop. And I kind of threw a couple Venoms towards the back because I figured they had so many they would go down even further, and they did. But now I'm thinking, for $2.99, I might try to get all 4 of them. I don't know. They're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. Yeah.
And normally this isn't my favorite style of Venom, but I think it works pretty well here. It's just crazy. Look at that tongue.
That is cool. All right, I'm going to go with exactly what you guys were going with as well with your theme of your recap, and that's what I was going to say. Apparently, the Great Depression era in the Oklahoma Panhandle is making a comeback in popularity for some reason.
I never knew I was so interested in it.
Right. Man, this doesn't even have a little thing to, a little tab to, open it easy. But anyway. Boom! We all nailed
Oh
it
my
today.
goodness.
That's awesome.
That'll
Three
never
for
happen
three.
again.
All three of us got exactly what we asked for.
That's too cool.
It's a Christmas in October. My wife's going to dig that. Very cool. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Cora's going to take this Batmobile from me, probably. She likes everything Batman. We're playing Lego Batman again.
Which is an awesome game.
It is.
I think you guys own both the Lego Batman movies. They're on Fandango, right?
Yeah.
Can I still just call it Voodoo, though, when we're talking?
Yes, 'cause I
still
do.
don't call. Okay, good. Okay.
I like Voodoo better. Fandango's a weird word.
Right. Oh, we got some comments here. What the heck? Look at those comments.
I thought you were frozen. Were you frozen for a minute, or were you just reading?
No, I was just reading.
Why aren't you voting at the moment? Explain in detail. Don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand either, Tay. We're not voting because we're doing a show. What do you want explained in detail? And I'm thinking something we opened was sick. So
Yeah.
we appreciate the comments. Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that when I made my screen larger so I can see that.
Yeah, I made my screen big so I could see all y'all
Awesome.
stuff too as well. Yeah.
But it was all at the same time, 11:25, 11:26. Yeah, there's nothing really to vote on. Recover combat.
Cover combat 10, yeah.
And, the presidential election is until November, and we don't do politics. And explain in detail. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you know what I failed during the entire show? Karen didn't even call me out because she was here for a minute, but I didn't have any banner running the entire show. So sorry about it for anybody who loves the banner feature.
Sorry.
All right, cool. Let's wrap this up. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notifications. There's a comment up there again. I don't know what it is. Check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics. We'd really appreciate it. You can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. And then what we were just mentioning, watch Cover Combat 10 Blue Chip Edition, Round 1A, this coming Monday, 2 days from now, September. Oh, wait, why does that say September? Sorry, October 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I'm in charge right now. That's why, because we got no background production. And then you can watch our next live stream on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook on Saturday, October 26th at 8:30 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. That will be the Season 5 premiere. Little bit of Mike hooking us up with the finale of Season 4 here. But other than that, no bells and whistles. Sorry about it. We're headed to a group get-together in a couple weeks. I'd like to actually get some video that maybe we can share at least during the Season 5 premiere. That would be cool. So check us out. Stay tuned for all that. And then lastly, follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and or X. I keep saying I'm going to take that away, aka Twitter. And follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok to see everything we post everywhere all the time. Get a good mix of everything with comics, collectibles, and movies and TV shows. So there's all that. What is our comments here? Oh, Tay saying thanks and love the content. Thank you, Tay. We appreciate you stopping by. Check us out regularly. Check out all of our old stuff. It's all good. We appreciate it. All right. So that'll do it.
That'll do it.
Mike, you got anything? Tay,
We're
Mike,
famous
is
for that.
is this a setup, Mike?
It's not me, but I'm a fan of Tay right now because I always say that Kevin's outros are like Return of the King, longest ending ever.
It's not intentional. It's not intentional.
It's
I
a
just
whole
don't want to go
segment.
because it's so fun. It's so fun. The show's so fun. I just don't want it to end. So anyway,
Yeah.
all right, that'll do it. Thanks for being here. This was fun, guys. And
Awesome.
until next time, what? Did you say?
I didn't say anything.
I'm gonna play
You're
this
just
back.
trying to drag things out. I didn't say anything.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
All right. Bye.
All right. Anyway, until next time, or thanks for being here. And until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome, and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.